We are resuming the session post-lunch. Now, for our next session, I'd like to invite Srimati N. Dharani. You want some time? Okay. Welcome back. We are resuming the session post-lunch. Now, our next session, I'd like to invite Srimati N. Dharani, Assistant Director, Office of RJD, MSME, to deliver a speech on the topic MSME Enabling and Prevailing Schemes. I'd like to welcome her.
Good afternoon to everybody. I'm basically here to present a view about the schemes and incentives offered by the government of Tamil Nadu for micro, small and medium enterprises. MSMEs, as you all know, helps in promoting equitable growth and development. It employs around 120 million people, becoming the second largest employment generating sector after agriculture in India. It contributes to around 6% of manufacturing GDP and 24% of service sector GDP. It also helps in contributing to GDP up to, it has the potential to help up to contribution of 50% in the GDP by 2025, thereby helping India achieve its $5 trillion target. And it also has the potential to contribute around half of the overall Indian exports. It helps in arresting the distress migration, especially from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. It helps in all-round growth and development by providing opportunities, employment opportunities in rural areas. MSMEs, as you all know, acts as a defense against global economic shock. And let's see the various schemes provided by the Government of India and Tamil Nadu for the MSMEs by helping them, who help in propel the growth of our economy through a silent revolution. The MSME sector in India covers manufacturing, service and retail categories spanning across industries like automobiles, leather, textiles and apparels, engineering components, pharmaceuticals, etc., to name a few. It provides a reliable base to the large industries. It caters to the global market, thereby gaining forex by means of exports. The three-tier structure of the MSMEs in India starts from central, state and at the district level. The central government activities include basically the formulation of policies, bylaws and documents. It helps in the R&D activities, helps in synergizing with other ministries by preparing action agenda, formulates laws to safeguard employees, shares the best practices which is available globally, and provides an online grievance redressal mechanism. Then the state government activities include developing a state policy in line with the national policy. State government also is involved with the basic formulation of the laws according to the national laws. It identifies the focus, micro-focus areas, updates the database by documenting the best practices. The District Industry Center, which I come from, the RJD office, operates at the district level. It implements the various schemes formulated by the state government in line with the national policies. To name a few, we conduct awareness camps, seminars and dissemination meets. This is one of such awareness meets. We help in skill training of the entrepreneurs. We help in getting a single window clearance by getting clearances from multiple government departments, which I'll be showing it in the later slides. We facilitate entrepreneurs to get themselves registered in Udyam portal. We help in the sanction and disbursement of various incentives and subsidies through schemes like NEEDS, PMEGP, UIGP, to name a few, like AA, BCS and PMFME. I'll be delving into those schemes in detail in the further slides. We also have an export promotion cell to guide the entrepreneurs in case of any queries. This is a basic schematic of, of our department. Next. MSME, according to, in the 1st July 2020, according to the government notification in 1st July 2020, the MSME classification was redone. They revised the criteria According to that, any manufacturing or service rendering enterprise with an annual turnover not exceeding 5C and investment in plant and machinery value not exceeding 1 crore comes under micro category. If the investment in plant and machinery value doesn't exceed 10 crore and if the annual turnover doesn't exceed 50 crore, the enterprise will be categorized as small enterprise. The medium enterprise classification includes annual turnover not exceeding 250 crores and the investment in plant and machinery value not exceeding 50 crore. So this is basically the definition of what constitutes micro, small and medium enterprises. This is a schematic representation of whatever I told just now. This UDIM registration is basically like an identity card for an MSME. It is based on self-declaration. No requirement of any documents, papers, certificates or proofs are required to get oneself registered as an MSME in the UDIM portal. So upon registration in the UDIM portal, one gets a permanent identity number known as UDIM registration number. An e-certificate called as UDIM registration certificate will also be generated online. The various benefits upon registering in the UDIM portal, that is upon getting an identity card to be recognized as an MSME enterprises, one can easily participate in government tenders and separate allocation and government tenders are also being provided for the MSMEs. You can get bank loan without collateral or mortgage through the credit guarantee fund. It is launched jointly by Government of India and SIDBI. I'll tell about that scheme later. And 1% exemption on the interest rate on bank overdraft is also provided. Concession in electricity bills, tax rebates, subsidies, faster resolution of disputes refer to the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Facilitation Council. Then 50% discount on the fees incurred for getting the trademark or patent certificates and all are provided. I'll be telling about all these incentive schemes in detail in the upcoming slides. This is the MSME Samadhan portal. Micro Small Enterprise Facilitation Council, that is MSEFC, facilitates in settlement of delayed payments to micro and small enterprises for the goods or services supplied by them. This portal was to address the delay in dues provided to the MSMEs. This is under the provisions of MSME Act 2006. A buyer has to make the payment on the date supplier and buyer has agreed upon in writing. In case there is no payment upon between the buyer and the supplier, then the payment can exceed 45 days, or else the buyer has to pay back to the MSME within 45 days. This is actually the rules. If there is no agreed upon timing and if the payment has not been repaid back to the MSME within 45 days, the MSME can get themselves registered in the Samadhan portal. This acts as basically as a fast track court. The cases in this Samadhan portal will come before the Facilitation Council, and the Facilitation Council has a duty to dispose all the cases within 90 days. And the bank, if the cases is not settled, the supplier has to, the buyer has to pay back the MSMEs at the rate of 3 times the interest rate charged by the RBI. If not, the case will be passed on to the High Court. So this is the basic formulation of how the Samadhan portal and the Facilitation Council operates. We have 4 such councils in Tamil Nadu, placed at Chennai, Coimbatore, Madurai and Trichy. Only micro and small enterprises can avail the benefits under the Samadhan portal. Medium enterprises can't avail the benefits under this scheme. So any micro or small enterprise which holds a valid Udyog Aadhar or Udyam registration is eligible to apply. As I told before, under the MSME Act, the customer that is the buyer is liable to pay the interest back to the supplier, that is the MSME, at the rate which is 3 times the discounted rate as notified by the RBI. Every case registered with the council is going to be disbursed within 90 days from the date of submission of complaints as per the provisions laid down in the MSME Act 2006. Next comes the Credit Guarantee Fund Trust Scheme. This scheme is offered jointly by Government of India and SIDBI Bank. This scheme is mainly to help the micro, small and medium enterprises who thrive only with immunity and special protection, that is those who don't have collateral or mortgage supports. Here, a significant part, that is up to 75% of the loan amount not exceeding 2 crores can be covered as guarantee under the scheme. The credit guarantee coverage is 75% of the project cost. Micro and small enterprises with turnover up to 2 crore in manufacturing and service and in retail up to 1 crore turnover can avail benefits under the scheme. Here, 0.7 to 1.5% of the outstanding principal amount has to be paid annually as a charge for the fund trust scheme. 75% of the loan that is not secured by the collateral is guaranteed under the trust, under this fund trust scheme. Here, those enterprises which is involved in the industrial activity, service activity, excepting that of retail trade, self-help groups, educational institutions and training institutions can avail benefits under the CGT MSE scheme. Coverage is 80% for Northeast states people and women entrepreneurs. In the event of default, the trust will pay the claim up to 75% or 80% of the amount which is not returned, up to not exceeding 50 lakhs. Guarantee covered is reduced to 50% for the sums between 50 lakh and 2 crores. Next scheme is the single window portal. This single window portal came up under the Business Facilitation Act 2018. It acts as a single point receipt for applications to secure clearances that are required to establish an enterprise. It's basically a portal wherein you can get clearances from multiple departments of the government to start your enterprise from a single portal. So this is the concept. From departments like ICDIC, that is Industries and Commerce Department, Town and Country Planning, Pollution Control Board, Electricity Board, Industrial Safety and Health, Labor Department, Metropolitan Development Authority, Fire Department, Electrical Inspector, Boiler Department, Public Health and Preventive Medicine Department, Rural Development Panchayati Raj Department. These are the departments from which you can get clearances to start your enterprises from the single window portal. Next, I'll brush up very quickly through the schemes offered by the Government of Tamil Nadu. This is New Entrepreneur Cum Enterprise Development Scheme, NEET. This scheme is mainly for the new first generation entrepreneurs. The educational qualification is they should have at least completed +2 or degree or diploma. Here, the project cost can lie between 10 lakhs to 5 crores. Subsidy is provided at the rate of 25%, not exceeding 75 lakhs. That is, if you are getting a loan for 3 crores, 75 lakh will be provided as government subsidy. 5% is provided as interest subvention, which is back-ended. And 50% in this scheme is earmarked for women entrepreneurs. Priority in allotment of in Sitco industrial estates is also done. The age category is for general category, it's between 21 to 45, and for special category, it's 21 to 55. Special category people include women, backward classes, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, transgenders, differently abled people, etc. The promoter's contribution, that is the owner's contribution, has to be 10% for general category people and 5% for special category. The applicant should be a resident of Tamil Nadu for a period not less than 3 years, and 15 days of entrepreneurship development training is provided online. Next comes the UIEGP scheme, that is Unemployed Youth Employment Generation Program. This scheme is mainly for the retail or trading or business activity people. It's not for the manufacturing and service. Here, project cost, that is loan up to 15 lakh is provided for trading activities. Subsidies 25%, not exceeding 3.75 lakhs. The applicant in this age group can lie anywhere between 18 to 45 for general and 18 to 55 for special category. Educational qualification is 8th standard pass, and the family income should not exceed 5 lakh per annum. Next, the Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program. It's a very well wide-known program offered by Government of India. It is implemented jointly by KVIC, Khadi and Village Industries Commission, and District Industries Center in each districts of Tamil Nadu. The project cost for manufacturing, the upper limit is 50 lakhs, and for service category, it's 20 lakhs. The subsidy rate is 25% for rural category, and 35% for special category in rural areas. And in case of urban areas, the subsidy rate is 15% for general and 25% for special category people. There is no educational qualification required under this scheme. The beneficiaries can be entrepreneurs, cooperatives, societies, SHEs and trustees, self-help groups and trustees. Minimum 10 days of entrepreneurship development training is provided here too. And the age criteria is 18 years, and there is no upper age ceiling under this scheme. This is the new scheme which is running from for Chennai district from last December. This is Prime Minister's formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprises Scheme, PMFME. This scheme is mainly for the micro category, that is those having investment in plant and machinery up to 1 crore. Who are involved in food processing activities. That is basically value addition has to be done in the food processing sector. Here, two categories of beneficiaries are support can be availed. One is individual, the other one is group. For individual micro enterprises, the subsidy rate is 35%, not exceeding 10 lakhs. Individual proprietorship, partnership, farmer producer organization, self-help groups, non-governmental organization, cooperatives, private limited companies. The beneficiary can be in any one of these categories. The eligible project cost should include plant and machinery and technical civil work not exceeding 30% of the project cost. But land and building value is not included in the project cost here. For group entrepreneurs, that is FPOs, farmer producer organizations, self-help groups, cooperatives and government agencies. Support subsidy rate is 35%, not exceeding 3 crores. And support is also provided to common facility center, labs, incubation centers, warehouse and cold storage. For all these setups also, subsidy is provided for group entrepreneurs. This is a list of the food processing activities which is not eligible. This is called as a negative list. I'll quote one example in this list. For example, if the person is trading and selling the fruits and vegetables, as such you are getting from one person and they are selling it to the other shop, that is trading without any kind of value addition is not included under the scheme. If the person is preparing some kind of fruit squashes or fruit juices, some kind of value addition is done on the agricultural product, and only then they can avail benefit under the scheme. This is the positive list. Few are listed down. For example, since it's the International Year of Millets 2023, as recognized by UN, I'm quoting the example in the serial number 5, which is millet-based products, millet biscuits, health mixes, millet powders or millet pastas, these kind of products, if the entrepreneur is engaging in, he can avail subsidy under the scheme. This scheme is launched only from this financial year. It's a pretty new scheme. It's exclusively for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe entrepreneurs, since entrepreneurship is very low among them. The person can be new entrepreneur, or he or she can be an existing one. Coverage is manufacturing, service or retail. In any of the three areas, if the manufacturer is producing activity, if he is engaging in manufacturing or service or retail trading, he can avail subsidy under the scheme. Here, no amount of margin money, that is owner's contribution, is required, since 35% is provided as subsidy not exceeding 150 lakhs. The project cost from the 65% of the project cost is provided as bank loan, 35% is subsidy, and 0% is owner's contribution. 6% is the interest subvention. So we are providing subsidy up to 6% on the interest rate paid by the entrepreneur throughout the repayment period, but the repayment period should be within 10 years. All kind of manufacturing, retail, service activities are covered excepting direct agriculture. The entrepreneur can be a one-person company, private limited firms. That the catch is that should be fully owned by the scheduled caste or scheduled tribe people can avail subsidy. New business proposals or the existing ones who are going in for expansion or diversification, modernization or technology upgradation can also avail benefits. This is the capital subsidy scheme which is running for the manufacturing sector. 25% is a subsidy rate not exceeding 25 lakhs. New entrepreneurs as well as existing can avail benefits. The application should be filed within 1 year of coming into production. Both new and existing ones going in for expansion and diversification can avail benefits. Next is the capital subsidy for thrust sector. Here 24 categories of thrust sector are mentioned, namely leather, textiles and technical textiles, auto components, plastics, electrical and electronics, to name a few. If the entrepreneur is engaging in any of the 24 thrust sectors provided here, the subsidy cap is 150 lakhs, that is 1.5 crore is the maximum limit of subsidy. This is the back-ended interest subsidy. We are providing subsidy on the interest paid by the entrepreneur. Two kind of divisions are here in this scheme. One is the technology, if they are going in for technology upgradation, 5% of the interest paid on loans not exceeding 5 crores. Maximum cap is 25 lakhs per enterprise for a period of 5 years is provided. If they are going in for the credit guarantee fund trust scheme, 5% of the interest on loans taken up to 2 crores, not exceeding 20 lakhs is a subsidy cap, and spanning over a period of 5 years. All new and existing entrepreneurs on quarterly basis can avail subsidy. This is a scheme for quality certification. 100% subsidy up to 2 lakhs for national certification is provided. The certification should be NABCB recognized, and 10 lakhs for international certification is provided as subsidy. All MSMEs can avail the benefits. The payment charges include certification and consultancy charges as well. Next scheme is the promotion of energy audit and conservation of energy, called as P scheme. This scheme is basically to promote the energy efficiency in MSME units to help them optimize energy consumption and savings up to a minimum of 5% in the electricity bills. To cater to this objective, energy audit is done when done by the accredited energy auditors. The cost of doing the audit, that is 75% of the cost incurred for the energy audit, not exceeding 1 lakh, is given as subsidy. If the recommendations of the energy auditor are implemented, 50% of the cost on eligible components incurred for the implementation of the recommendations given by the auditor, not exceeding 10 lakhs, is given towards implementation of the recommendations. Next is the payroll subsidy. Tamil Nadu government is reimbursing the employer's contribution of the Provident Fund. Here the catch is the employer should employ minimum of 20 employees. MSMEs with more than 20 employees are eligible to avail benefits. That is an annual reimbursement of 24,000 per employee for a period not exceeding 3 years is provided as subsidy. If an entrepreneur wants to get his enterprise listed in the stock exchange, the benefits are subsidy at the rate of 50% of the total expenditure incurred for getting his or her enterprise listed on the exchange, not exceeding 30 lakhs is provided as subsidy. Any kind of MSME, small, be it small, micro and medium, can avail the benefits. Trademarks and geographical indications. The 50% of the cost incurred for filing the application of trademark, including the cost of first-time maintenance and also for filing the application of geographical indication, are provided up to 50% of subsidy not exceeding 25,000 per trademark or GI registered. Only manufacturing enterprises can get this benefit. The application has to be submitted within 6 months from the receipt of registration. Subsidy is also provided for the cost incurred for patent registration. Government subsidy of either 1 lakh on production of patent registration certificate without producing documents for the expenditure made, or if the expenses are more than 1 lakh, 75% of the cost of filing the patent registration not exceeding 3 lakhs per patent registered is provided. Here, any individual or institution or MSME or startup can avail benefits. The individual need not be registered in the MSME portal. So any individual, be it a student or who is willing to start up an enterprise, can also avail benefits. It has to be submitted within 6 months from the date of receipt of patent registration. Here, a new GO was introduced. So up to 1 lakh, if the amount is incurred for patent registration, it is provided without any kind of documentary verification. Upon producing the patent certificate, 1 lakh is given, and if it is exceeding 1 lakh, 75% is the rate of subsidy, not exceeding 3 lakhs per patent registered is provided. We are also developing clusters of MSMEs for different sectors. Already a few of the renowned sectors like in IT, automobiles, ready-made garments, pharmaceuticals, textiles, printing and plastic, these clusters are already available in Tamil Nadu. In Chennai, we are developing cosmetic cluster and jewelry making clusters too. Here, 95% is provided as government grant. The entrepreneurs have to pool themselves. A minimum of 15 to 20 entrepreneurs have to pool in themselves. They have to provide 5% of the project costs. The remaining 95%, not exceeding 9.5 crores, is given as government grant for the cluster development. Reimbursement of hall rent incurred for exhibition is also provided. 50% of the hall rent, maximum is 7.5 lakh per event in Chennai, not exceeding 1.5 lakh per event in districts other than Chennai, and not exceeding 7.5 lakhs per exhibition in other states are provided as hall rent subsidy for MSME associations in Tamil Nadu. Thank you.
Can we take up any questions? Do anyone have any questions regarding this? You're free to ask.
Yes, ma'am. More than one patent also you can get, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Madam, can you give me your contact number or mail ID, madam? So that
rjdchn@gmail.com.
1 minute.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your insights on MSME enabling and prevailing schemes. Now, ma'am, Can you come onto the stage, please, for the memento? Now, I request Dr. G.S. Mahalakshmi ma'am to come onto the stage and present a memento to Srimati N. Dharani as a token of honor. Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to the next section, I invite Mr. Vish Vishwanathan sir to deliver a speech on emotional wellness and mental health for startups.
Good afternoon. So this topic is something very different from what you have heard all day today, because emotional wellness and mental health is an area which unfortunately people don't pay attention to. It's a very important area because if you are not fit mentally, you won't be able to do many things as well. So my name is Vishwanathan, and I am a professional psychological counselor and a psychotherapist. I'm also CEO of Unicode Management Consultants. This is a management consultancy firm based in the US, and we have offices in US, UK, as well as in India. So as I said, I'm a qualified and experienced professional psychological counselor. I also have experience doing entrepreneurship, started many startups both in the US as well as in India. 35 years of experience working in various geographies, running businesses of various types, and also a startup advisor, an angel investor. I invest in startups. For the last 14 years, I've been investing in startups, as well as a board member and a board advisor of startups in US as well as in India. I spent a lot of time on social work in the last few years, doing several projects with several NGOs in India. And I have an engineering degree from this same college, from College of Engineering India, very proud alumnus of this college. Did my master's in the US in operations research and business management. So after a 35-year career in engineering, management and startups, I decided to pivot and become a counselor. So I did a course in, went back to college, did a complete degree in psychology and psychological counseling, and trained myself under various psychologists and psychiatrists to be a counselor and a psychotherapist. So let's talk about emotional wellness and mental health. Mental health makes news regularly. If you look at any newspaper, any magazine, you always see people talking about mental health, what is going on, people are committing suicide, depressed, etc., all that. But unfortunately, all this news only stays for a few hours and then goes away, nothing is done about it. So what I'm going to talk about is what should we do about it. So what is mental health? Before we talk about mental health, what is mental health? Mental health is a state of well-being. The World Health Organization has given a definition of mental health. It says it's a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her potential and able to deal with the normal stresses in life. So all of us have this when we are born. We have a reasonable amount of mental health that we are born with, but then over time, as we go through various life experiences, etc., we end up having challenges. So mental health affects the way you feel, the way you act, the handle stress, and how you relate, build relationship with others, and how you work together as a team. The basic framework of counseling psychology says that incidents or situations happen and not everyone who is involved in the situation reacts the same way. Simple example, you're standing in a traffic signal and you see that somebody is cutting in front of you. Now, some people get very angry and start shouting, and some people just don't care. So the same incident, same situation, evokes different responses in different people because each person looks at the situation and interprets it differently. That is where the difference between a person who is sound mental health and someone who isn't, right? The situation results in a thought, which results in a feeling, which eventually results in a behavior, right? So what are mental disorders? When this process of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are not working very well, then you have mental disorder. So this mental disorders can affect the person's ability to think, act, or it also will affect the person's ability to form relationships. What are the causes of mental health disorder? There are many causes. You could have gone through stressful life situations, a loss of a family member, loss of a job, or something that is very dramatic, unexpected, can cause mental stress. Could be biological factors. It could be in your family. There could be some genetic or hereditary factors that could cause mental health issues. Or it could be an individual's personality. Some people are by nature very shy, or very introvert, and some people are very bold. So the person's individual personality may have a very big role in if you're going to have mental stress or not. And finally, any adverse childhood experiences. If you had any abuse or neglect, anything in childhood, that will have profound impact. Next. What are the symptoms that indicate mental health? The symptoms could be physical in nature. You may feel that you have aches and pains when they don't really exist. Or you could have issues with thinking. You may not be able to think very well. You're confused or you're very worried, etc. All that. Or could be psychological. Sadness, depression, anger. These are the different things that could, your emotional state can be reflecting in this kind of activities. Or it could be imagining things. There are people who imagine people talking to them. There is no one talking, but they think that somebody is talking to them. Somebody is, they see somebody in front of them, etc. These are all things that people go through when they have mental disorder. If you look at the problem, it is a very, very big problem. We don't realize how big this problem is. Across the world, we lose more than $1 trillion, $1 trillion of productivity and loss of work every year because of mental health. Now, we don't realize how big it is. We pay attention to other things, but mental health costs a lot of money for the whole world. It's not only in the world, it's in our communities, in our families, as well as individuals. You see that even in families, you could have people who are going through mental health challenges. So the impact of this particular problem is pretty large in all areas, whether it's the world, in community, in your own families, or in your own individual life as well. Mental health conditions are very common, but you don't see them. Unlike physical health, when you're not well, if you're sick, if you're having fever, if you have cold, you can see them and say they're not well. Mental health, you can't see. Most mentally challenged, mental health people having mental issues, you can't tell them they have mental issues by looking at them. They look very normal. They act very normal, but inside they're going through a lot of churn as well as etc. All that. You find out that 1 in 5 adults, 20% of people in the world, 1 out of every 5 people have a mental health challenge right now. That's how prevalent it is. So we need to take action to make sure that we address this issue. And 1 in 25 people have a serious mental illness, things that they should take care of immediately. Unfortunately, with all this, only 30% of adults actually go through and get treatment or help for that. Rest of them just ignore it, which doesn't go away. Mental health problems are something that don't go away. If you ignore them, it doesn't go away. You have to do something about that. Otherwise, you will end up having loss of productivity, loss of work, loss of relationship, a lot of things in life as well, right? And 50% of adults who have serious illnesses also don't get treatment. So what I'm saying is that in this day and age, when these kind of resources are available, please take help, because if you're not going to take help, these problems are not going to go away. It's going to cause more problems for you, more challenges for you. And particularly if you're running a business as a startup founder, you cannot afford not to be mentally healthy, right? So you want to make sure that if you are encountering problems, take help immediately. And look at the youth. If you look at youngsters who are in their teens and in the early 20s, 1 in 5 youth struggle with a mental health problem, and more than 80% of them don't take any help. A mentally healthy person can think clearly. Like most of us, when you are in good mental fitness, you think very clearly. We can cope with normal activities and stresses that happen in life. We enjoy good relationships, generally speaking. And we can work productively and run businesses, run startups, make money and be productive as well. There are a few key facts about mental health that you need to know. It can affect anyone. It is not that it only affects some kind of people. It can affect anyone. Men, women, old, young, rich, poor. It affects anyone, can affect anyone. It's common, 20% of people in the world, 1 in 5 adults have mental health problem. It doesn't look different from others. People who have mental health don't look different. They look exactly like anybody else, but inside they're going through a lot of mental health challenges. It can range from very simple conditions to very severe conditions. It is not just stress. Don't dismiss it as just stress. Being stressed is different from having a mental health challenge. Okay? Maybe a short-term or a long-term problem. It does affect your quality of life, quality of your work, quality of your relationship, quality of your output. And it can have a big effect on your entire family. If somebody is not well, it can affect the whole family. A lot of misconceptions, a lot of myths about mental illnesses. There are a few listed here, but I want to go through a few of them. One is, people with mental illness is a mindset problem. No, it is not a mindset problem. It is a real problem. So don't dismiss this as saying it's a mindset problem. Mindset problem is something different. A mental health problem is a real problem. And secondly, mentally healthy people with mental illness are dangerous. That is not at all the case. In fact, the other way around is true. People with mental health are actually subjugated to more discrimination and abuse than anybody else. So what can you do to have a good mental health? Be active. One of the most important things is to be very active. Go for walks, spend time, exercise, work out. The more you're keeping yourself physically fit and healthy, the more you're likely to be mentally well as well. Enjoy walks with your family and friends. Spend time with your family and friends. Startup business could be very hectic, could be very busy, very demanding, but if you don't take care of yourself, then you won't be able to do a very good job of running your startup. Get at least 8 hours of sleep. In surveys we see that people are getting lesser and lesser sleep. The average amount of sleep that is required for a human being to perform well is 7 hours. 8 is better, 7 is minimum. Anything less than 7 is not adequate. Talk about your feelings to someone. Find someone, a friend, maybe your partner, whether your spouse, mother, father, sibling, anybody. If you have anything going through your mind, don't keep it to yourself. Please talk to someone that you trust. And finally, look for professional help. People like us, psychologists and counselors, we are here only to help you when you're going through a difficult time. There's nothing to be ashamed about going to a counselor or a therapist. When you go to a doctor, it is the same thing here as well. There are 4 types of people who can support you: psychologists, counselors, psychiatrists, and social workers. Depending upon the kind of issue you have, one of these professionals will be able to help you go through your mental health challenge. So what about startup founders? What is specific about them? Startup founders, in a recent survey done in San Francisco, USA by a psychologist, 72% of startup founders claim that they have a mental health challenge. So it's not very uncommon at all for startup founders to have this kind of problem. Anxiety, depression, substance abuse, alcohol abuse, drug abuse is most common among startup founders, unfortunately. And there's a high degree of correlation between entrepreneurship, which is a highly stressful job that affects the way you think, feel, and act. 23% of all founders report feeling loneliness. If you ask any startup founder, because everything is done by them, everybody is looking at them, your employees, your investors, your board members, your customers, everybody is looking at you, people feel very lonely at the top. So this is one of the most common problems most startup founders feel. All startups face these basic challenges, right? You have to find the right team, you have to get funding, you have to have the right product. All these different activities that a startup has to go through are fairly difficult tasks. So it is obviously going to be very stressful and very difficult. And so if you are not going to take care of yourself with this kind of a stressful environment, you are going to have mental health challenge. So these are things that everybody goes through. Now, when it comes to stress, you could have good stress and bad stress. A lot of us perform very well when we have a certain demand on our intellect or demand on our work, right? When we're getting a lot of demand for work, then we do very well. But as the stress starts building up, at some point, you reach peak performance and then it starts degrading. The more stressed you are, you don't perform necessarily very well. After a certain point, you start performing not as good and eventually becomes a mental health crisis. So, let me be very clear. Mental well-being is just as important, if not more important, just as important as physical health for you to be able to succeed in anything in life, not just startup. And let's be very clear, people worry about a lot of things. Mental health is far more important than any of the items shown here. Someone else's perception of you, your to-do list, your job title, who you are, what people think of you, your Instagram follower list, how big is your LinkedIn connection. None of them are as important as your mental health. If you're not going to be healthy mentally, then all these things are not going to be helpful to you. Second thing, mental health is not a PR campaign. This is not some sort of a public relations campaign. This is a serious issue. It is a paradigm shift to be able to deal with this and effectively take care of it. This is by Abby Scarborough. She's a founder of a very successful startup in the US. And this is from Richard Branson, the guy who's a Virgin Atlantic and Virgin Group founder. I seriously doubt that I would have been successful in my career if I had not always placed importance on my physical, mental health and fitness. Now, these are all successful entrepreneurs who have built a big business. So if they have told these things through their experience, obviously we need to pay attention to that. These are things that we should take into consideration when we are taking care of ourselves. Marissa Mayer from Yahoo says that my hobbies actually make me better at work. They help me come up with new and innovative way of thinking. So just because you're a startup founder, you don't have to always work upon your business only. You can also have hobbies. The more different activities you have in your daily routine, the better you are in able to do all of them very well. If you get constrained to only one activity of running a business only as the primary and only mission, it is not going to be helpful. And this is from Morten Christensen, another successful entrepreneur. I try to meditate at least 20 minutes every day and does 2 hours in the weekend. He says meditation of this nature, just 20 minutes in a 24-hour day, provides more peace for him to be able to think clearly than anything else. So it's not that you have to do something miraculous or something very big. Very small activities, going out for a walk, talking to your friends, talking to your family, sleeping well, eating well, all basic things we should do. If you do those things, you're going to have good mental health. So what is the importance of having a positive attitude and a strong mental health for a startup founder? Believe me, it attracts investors. I'm an angel investor. When I go and talk to an entrepreneur who comes and presents to me, if I look at his mental state and I look at him as being very stressed, I'm not going to be investing in him. I look for people who are going to be positive attitude or optimistic or enthusiastic, show some amount of energy in presentation, energy in the business and passion. So having a positive attitude and good mental health actually helps in getting investors as well as customers. Now, how do you maintain this positive attitude? Acknowledge your feelings. If you're feeling happy one day, fine. If you're having sad next day, it's okay. Acknowledge your feelings. There is nothing to be ashamed of feeling sad or feeling depressed or feeling happy, any of the feeling for that matter. Those are all very normal feelings. Acknowledge your feelings. Don't try to hide them. Be mindful of your thoughts. What kind of thinking goes through your mind? If you're always thinking something negative, you should try your best to change your thought process. Psychologists and counselors like us can help you with reframing your thoughts so it's not always very negative. Practice gratitude, most important. A lot of us are very blessed to have a lot of things that most people don't have. So you should always understand that what we have, we should be grateful for. This act of gratitude can provide significant amount of benefit to improve your mental health. And finally, take care of yourself. Don't let setbacks derail you. As a startup founder, I can tell you it's going to be not very easy. You're going to have a lot of setbacks along the way, but each one of them is going to also teach you something. As an entrepreneur, a startup founder, I've gone through my own share of challenges. I can tell you from personal experience that sometimes it feels very dejected, that things are not working out. But each one of those instances is an opportunity to learn. And as long as you don't let that get to you, you will be successful. So don't let setbacks get to you. Stay focused on your goals. Believe in yourself and stay positive. Be relentless in your pursuit of success. Don't get bothered by what happens around you or outside you. Stay focused on your goals. Have very good communication with your team. Be willing to pivot. If the original idea you had to build a business is not working, that doesn't mean you have to continue going that same path. You can pivot. Pivot is you basically change your direction and look for a different way of running the same business or building a different product. So pivoting is a very common thing that startup founders do. Be open to feedback. Anybody can give you feedback. Get feedback from your customers, your employees, your co-founders, your investors, etc. And persevere through difficult times. Do not give up. More you persevere and more you work through, the more you succeed. So finally, there is hope. Don't worry about that. And I give me contact details. I got in a very small and short presentation here. If any of you need help for your organization, if you want a more detailed presentation, I'm happy to come and do in your institution. I want to make it very clear. This is not something you can brush away. Mental health is very, very important. If your own students, if your own employees, if yourself are not going to have very good, strong mental health, your output will be very less. You don't want to limit your own success by not taking care of your mental health, right? So please reach out. There are counselors and psychologists like us. We will be able to help. We are trained to listen to people. We are trained to help people. Now let's be clear. As psychologist, I cannot solve your problem. I can only make you strong and purposeful and be able to solve your own problems. But we have the training to make sure we can reframe your thought process, manage your feelings, and have better behaviors to succeed. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can ask me later on, or if you want to write emails to me, I have my contact information here. You can write there, and I'm happy to talk to you about any questions. If you need help, or if you know someone who needs help, certainly you can reach out. I'll be happy to help them. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time and presence, sir. Your words are really inspiring. We do agree that emotional wellness is a cornerstone for a startup to flourish. Now, again, I'd like to call Dr. G.S. Mahalakshmi ma'am to present our speaker with a memento. Thank you, sir. So we are finally here with the last session of the day, and it is going to be a panel discussion which will be centered on the topic startup opportunities in the film industry. So I'd like to call upon our panelists, Sri Arulmurthy, founder. So we are finally here with the last session of the day, and it is going to be a panel discussion which will be centered on the topic startup opportunities in the film industry. So I'd like to call upon our panelists to the stage. Shri Arul Murthy, founder, DaVinci Media College and MD, Digital Managing Visuals Limited. Shri Susi Ganeshan, film director and producer, will be joining us shortly via online. Srimati Ishrat Akhtar, CEO, Kainosofia.in. For those of you who don't know, it is a website from which the cast and crew for a film project can be selected. Kumari Soundarya Balananda Kumar, singer and actress. Srimati Deepti Kapil, actress and anchor. And Dr. G.S. Mahalakshmi, Director, Center for Entrepreneurship Development, Anna University. The panel discussion will be moderated by Dr. G.S. Mahalakshmi. If you're set, we can.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. So the program is also live, and so many other students from other engineering colleges all over the state are watching the program. So happy for everyone. We have come to a session. Actually, in the session, வந்து ஒரு 2 நாள் செஷனா வச்சிருக்கணும் தனியாவே. It's very important session. Industry is deprived of correct talents. அப்படிதான் சொல்லணும். நிறைய பேர் நிறைய டேலண்டாக இருக்கிறவங்க இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு போக மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க பிகாஸ் தே ஆர் நாட் அவேர் ஆஃப் ஹவு மச் தே கேன் கான்ட்ரிபியூட் டு இந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரி. ஸோ ஒரு 10-15 years கழிச்சு அவங்களுக்கு அந்த யோசனை வரும்போது they are not able to donate the time for exploring and experimenting in the industry, and that's how their talent gets deprived of. So அதனால we thought this session should be very important. So here we have Mr. Arul Murthy, CEO of Digital Magic Corporation. So sir is also MD of DaVinci Media College. So there is so much opportunities over there from sir's world. It's a world of itself, and so I welcome you, sir, for this session. And we also have Madam Ashraf Akhtar, ma'am. She's CEO of Kainosofia.in mobile app, where people who want to establish their acting career, future career in the industry, can channelize their dreams via ma'am's mobile app. She will be introducing more about her initiatives as well. So that is another perspective where these are all the various startups initiatives which you can see, which is going on around us, and we are not knowing that. So engineering படிச்சுட்டு எம்ப்ளாயியாக தான் போயிட்டுருக்கோம். கூகுள் மைக்ரோசாஃப்ட் வெல் அது தேவையே இல்லை. சார் when I was discussing with sir, இங்கே இருந்துக்கிட்டே வீட்டில் இருந்துகிட்டே நீங்கள் வந்து கூகுள் எம்ப்ளாயியை விட டபுள் மடங்கு வந்து சம்பாதிக்கலாம். Just like that you can earn in this industry, and there is so much opportunities as well. Little I am worried that many principals are also fathers. எல்லா பிரின்சிபலும் அப்பா தான். ஸோ வீட்டில் பையனை எப்படி பார்க்குறாங்களோ அதே மாதிரி தான் வந்து காலேஜ்லேயும் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸை பார்க்குறாங்க. ஸோ இஃப் அ ஸ்டூடெண்ட் டெல்ஸ் நோ ஐ ஹாவ் சம் ட்ரீம்ஸ் டு பர்சியூ இன் த இண்டஸ்ட்ரி, உடனே இல்லை பிளேஸ்மெண்ட், இதுதான் அங்கே அடுத்த வேர்டு வருது. So that should not be the case. There is so much opportunities around us. So இங்கே இருக்கிறவங்களே ஒரு பெரிய எக்ஸாம்பிள் நமக்கு. So here we have so many other colleagues also, and the upcoming artists, Soundarya Balananda Kumar, which everyone will be knowing her. So thanks Soundarya for accepting the invite at the last moment. இவங்க 3 பேருமே லாஸ்ட் மொமெண்ட் they accepted. We all know film industry people எவ்வளோ பிஸியாக இருப்பாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. So thanks to each one of you accepting the invite at the very last moment and making it happen today. So thank you Soundarya for that. So again we reiterate here, including me, we are not here to establish film career is only about acting. அது இல்லை, அதையும் தாண்டி நிறைய இருக்கு, அதை சொல்ல தான் இங்கே இருக்கும். So we also have another guest for today, தீப்தி கப்பல். எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச வரைக்கும் தீப்தி கப்பல் இப்பதான் பாக்யலட்சுமி சீரியல்ல கொஞ்ச நாளா அவங்க ஃபேஸை நாங்க பாக்குறோம் ஆஸ் a viewer. Rest everything Deepthi will tell about herself and her film opportunities as well for us. So with this people on stage, so I'd like to throw it open to Deepthi as what made her to enter into this option, career as a career, film industry as a career.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for the invite, and it is really a great pleasure to be here amongst so many people and to join here for the discussion. First of all, I'm basically an anchor. First, mic pudichu pesi dhaan palakom. Adu school seri, college seri. I was an interactive kid. I used to be on stages most of the time, participating in elocution contest and all of that sort. அப்படி தான் வந்து ஸ்டேஜும் மக்களை பார்த்து இருக்கிற பழக்கமும் எனக்கு I started getting into it. And then came anchoring chance when I was in college. காலேஜுக்கு போகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஒரு சேனலில் லோக்கல் சேனலில் ஒரு ஆங்கராக வந்து ஜாயின் பண்ணேன். தட்ஸ் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் மை ஸ்பீக்கிங் பொட்டென்ஷியல்னு கூட சொல்லலாம். ஸோ அப்படியே அகாடமிக்ஸும் பண்ணி சைட் பை சைட் ஆங்கரிங் ஓட ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸும் நான் வளர்த்துக்கிட்டேன். ஸோ இதுலேருந்து வாட் ஐ வுட் சே பீப்புள் ஹூ வாண்டட் அன் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டினா நமக்கு கிடைக்கிற ஒரு ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டியை நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். And in case if you have good skills, adu valathukra or opportunity is also with you. And I was a kind of good student. Academics la konja nalla perform பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன். அதே மாதிரி தான் காலேஜ்ல ஃபேஷன் டிசைனிங் எடுத்தேன். இப்போ நான் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிற இந்த துறைக்கும் ஃபேஷன் டிசைனிங்கும் சம்பந்தம் இல்லை தான். But I always loved exploring colors and clothes, and that's how I took fashion designing as my career. And college Sri Krishna Arts and Science College கோயம்புத்தூர்ல முடிச்சேன். அந்த காலேஜில் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பெஸ்ட் அவுட் கோயிங் ஸ்டூடெண்ட் அமாங் 5000 ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு என்ன சொல்றது ஒரு பேக்ரவுண்ட்ல இருந்து ஆக்டிங்கை ஏன் சூஸ் பண்ணேன்னா திஸ் வாஸ் என்ன சொல்றது இது ஒரு ஆக்சிடென்டலான ஒரு பிளெஸிங்னு சொல்லலாம். when we perform on stage நம்மளோட ஆங்கரிங்கோட துறை மட்டும் இல்லாமல் ஆக்டிங்லேயும் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி இருக்குன்னு சொல்லி when there is a way I chose that and that's how I'm here now. ஒரு 6 years ஆக்டிங் ஃபீல்டில் இருக்கேன். 2008 இருந்து ஆங்கரிங் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். இந்த 6 இயர்ஸில் வந்துட்டு எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் பண்ணுறதுக்கு நிறைய விஷயங்கள் எனக்கு கிடைச்சது இன் ஆக்டிங். நானும் இந்த மாதிரி வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒர்க் ஷாப்ஸ் எல்லாம் கண்டக்ட் பண்ணும்போது போய் பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். ஈவன் பிஃபோர் யூனோ கேமராக்கு முன்னாடி தெரியறதுக்கு முன்னாடியே வந்துட்டு எதுவுமே தெரியாமல் கூட ஆக்டிங் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். பட் ஆஃப்டர் தேட் யூ நீட் டு எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் வாட் எ ஃபீல்ட் இஸ். நம்ம எந்த துறையை தேர்ந்தெடுத்திருக்கோம் இல்லை எந்த துறை வந்துட்டு உங்களுக்கு ஒரு சாதகமாக இருக்கோ அந்த துறையில் நம்ம மேன்மேலும் அந்த கலையை வந்து படிக்கிறதுக்கு உண்டான வாய்ப்புகளை நம்ம தான் க்ரியேட் பண்ணிக்கணும். ஸோ தட்ஸ் ஹவ் ஐ ஸ்டார்டட் கோயிங் ஃபார் ஒர்க் ஷாப்ஸ். ஆக்டிங் ஒர்க் ஷாப்ஸ் எல்லாம் போய் கற்றுக்கணும். இட்ஸ் ஆல்வேஸ் not just one step or two steps, it's always a lot of steps ahead. So we need to keep exploring ourselves and we should keep going throughout, and that will lead the life better is what I would say. Thank you.
So, thank you, Deepthi. We also have Susi Ganesan sir on Zoom, Director Susi Ganesan. So, I see he is our prestigious alumni MIT. So, hope we have solved the glitches. We will continue the session once he is online. Is he joined? Okay. So,
laptop எப்படி கொஞ்சம் திருப்பி வச்சிட்டா நமக்கு தெரியும்.
ஆமா. Okay, so we'll continue the session once it is getting resolved. So, my next question is to just introduce the people in the stage. So, the question is to Soundarya. So, apart from singing, Soundarya nale singing da. Apart from singing, what else do you see as the interesting career? You were telling that you were an employee of a different organization and you threw your job to join this industry. So, what made you to take the decision? எந்த நம்பிக்கையில நீங்க வந்தீங்க?
Hi, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. Such pleasure discussing something that's very important. இது ஒரு பிளாட்ஃபார்மா நீங்க எடுத்து வச்சு டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணணும். I wish we had interactive sessions where we can probably answer questions if they have any. So அந்த மாதிரி இருந்தா கூட ஓகே தான். So to answer your question, எனக்கு வந்து singing is நான் தான் எனக்கு ஸ்டார்ட் அப். ஸோ I understood I am my own startup after a point. ஏன்னா இப்போ ஒரு ரியாலிட்டி ஷோக்கு போகிறோம், ஒரு கண்டஸ்டண்ட்டாக நான் அதில் இருக்கேன், அதில் ஒரு அளவு எனக்கு ஒரு எக்ஸ்போஷர் கிடைக்குது. அதுக்கப்புறம் then I decide to, my dad said you can do whatever you want, ஆனால் வந்து minimum you'll have to finish your post graduation. முடிச்சுட்டு நீ என்ன வேணால் பண்ணிக்கோ அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டாங்க. ஸோ போஸ்ட் கிராஜுவேஷன் முடிஞ்ச மென்டாலிட்டி எப்படி இருக்கும்னா, இவ்வளோ படிச்சிருக்கோம், ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்பட்டு படிச்சிருக்கோம், இதை தாண்டி ஏதாவது நம்ம பண்ணணுமா, ஏன் பண்ணணும், வை, அப்புறம் எதுக்கு அந்த 5 வருஷம் எதுக்கு நம்ம படிச்சிருக்கோம். பிகாஸ் ஐ an arts student. I did my BCom and then I did my masters in finance and control. So I finished that and then this Super Singer happened. So I participated twice, in season 3 and season 4. So season 3ல participate பண்ணும்போது எனக்கு ஒன்றுமே தெரியாது. Because I am basically from Madurai. I was not brought up in the city also. So நான் மதுரையில் I was raised. ஸோ அங்கேருந்து நான் இங்கே வரேன். இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு காலேஜ் MOPயில் தான் நான் வந்து பிகாம் பண்ணினேன். ஸோ அங்கே ஒரு டிஃப்ரெண்ட் எக்ஸ்போஷர். அங்கேயே வந்து எனக்கு ஒரு பயங்கரமான ஒரு ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி ஷிஃப்ட் ஃப்ரம் வாட் ஐ ஹவ் சீன் பேக் இன் மை டவுன் அண்ட் சீயிங் வாட் பீப்புள் கேன் டூ ஹியர். அகடமிக்கலி ஆல்சோ it was very 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 different for me. So Super Singer 3ல நான் பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணி முடிச்சுட்டு we are all called professional singers wherever we go. I'm thinking how are we professional singers? So first of all அந்த டேக் ஆல்ரெடி வந்துடுச்சு. ப்ரொஃபஷனல் சிங்கர்ஸ்னால் வந்து ஒரு டெஃபினிஷன் இல்லாமல் போன டைம். முன்னாடி ப்ரொஃபஷனல் சிங்கிங்கன்னா ப்ளேபேக் ஒன்றாவது பாடியிருக்கணும், இல்லை முன்னாடியெல்லாம் வந்து 10 பாட்டு 15 பாட்டு பாடினதுக்கப்புறம் தான் உங்கள் ப்ளேபேக் மியூசிஷியன்னே தெரியும். ஸோ எங்களுக்கு வந்து எப்படின்னா தட் விஷுவல் மீடியம் வாஸ் ஸோ சப்போர்ட்டிவ் தட் ஆஃப்டர் மை ப்ரெசன்ஸ் இன் சூப்பர் சிங்கர் I took up a job in Axis Bank. So I was a deputy manager. I was working ஒரு 1.5 வருஷம். அதுக்கப்புறம் the kind of opportunities that I missed because of the passion that I found through the reality show and the love I got from people who watched me perform and everything. I was like, why am I reporting to my branch manager every day? Why should I do that? அப்படின்னு ஒரு தாட். ஏன்னா அவருக்கு வந்து என்னதான் அவர் வந்து சூப்பர் சிங்கர் பார்த்தாலும், என்னதான் நான் ஒரு சிங்கிங் எனக்கு ஒரு எபிலிட்டி இருக்குன்னு என்னை சப்போர்ட் பண்ணாலும், he was not able to afford my time that I could not give for the branch, though I was a sincere worker and everything. ஆனால் 12 மணிக்கு எனக்கு AR ரஹ்மான் சார் ஸ்டுடியோலேருந்து சௌந்தர்யா ஒரு ட்ராக் பண்ணணும் வரீங்களான்னு கூப்பிடும்போது என்னால் போக முடியாது. ஏன்னா நான் ஒரு பேங்க் ஜாபில் இருக்கேன். ஸோ 12 o'clockலாம் பீக்கு. அப்போ தான் நாங்கள் பாஸ்புக் பிரிண்ட் பண்ணிருப்போம். அதுதான் நான் சொல்கிறேன். ஸோ வாட் வில் யூ டூ? அந்த மாதிரி 1 மிஸ் ஆயிருந்தால் பரவாயில்ல, 2 மிஸ் ஆயிருந்தால் பரவாயில்ல, கண்டினியூஸ்லி. ஸோ ஐ அண்டர்ஸ்டுட் வேர் more than my heart was, I understood where it should be than what I'm doing. இப்போதைக்கு அந்த ஒரு நான் ஒர்க் பண்ண அந்த ஒரு 1 year 1.5 years 30,000 35,000 40,000 salary ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது. It was nice. It was a very well settled life, but very mundane for someone like me because I wanted to explore a lot. அதனால one day I just decided to put my papers down. Audition திரும்ப சூப்பர் சிங்கர் season 4 because I wanted to reinvent myself. I wanted to do better. I wanted to place myself better in the competition. So சும்மா இல்லை, it was not an overnight decision. So I put my papers and then I didn't tell my father because I'm sure he was like, பேங்க் வேலையை விட்டுட்டு நீ வந்து சிங்கராக போவியா அப்படிலாம் எனக்கு கேட்பாங்கன்றதுனால நான் அவர்கிட்ட சொல்லலை. ஸோ அடுத்த சீசன் சூப்பர் சிங்கர் 4 முடிச்சது. அதுக்கப்புறம் I knew how to handle the attention that I got and convert it into a very consistent, meaningful profession that I can take with what I acquired as a talent by learning and something that I had naturally. Because singing is, whether or not we like it, it is associated konja genetics la. So அதை வச்சுட்டு அதை இக்னோர் பண்ணலனா. So I think that is the main introspection that I did for myself. I was எந்த தைரியத்தில்னு கேட்டிங்கன்னா, அந்த தொழிலையும் கற்றுக்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு வழி இருக்குது. அது நம்ம அந்த யார்கிட்ட பேசணுமோ, என்னென்ன வந்து அதை பற்றி தெரிஞ்சுக்கணுமோ, சும்மா ஒரு ரியாலிட்டி ஷோவில் முடிச்சுட்டோன்னா நம்ம போய் அப்படியே நின்று அப்படி பண்ண முடியாது. ரியாலிட்டி ஷோ இஸ் த பாயிண்ட் வேர் யூ அரைவ். அதுக்கப்புறம் இட் இஸ் த காம்படிஷன் இஸ் அன்இமேஜினபிள். வேலையே அதுக்கப்புறம் தான். ஸோ ஐ தாட் வாட் எவர் டெசிஷன் ஐ மேட், இப்போ வரைக்கும் வந்து 0.1% ரிக்ரெட் கூட எனக்கு அந்த வேலையை விட்டதில் இருக்கவே இல்லை. பிகாஸ் ஐ ஹேட் கெப்ட் மை பேஷன் in front of, I had put it in front of everything. My family saw what I could do with what I learned. So அதனால அவங்களுக்கும் அந்த நம்பிக்கை வந்தது. ஏன்னா they saw what I could do. சும்மாலாம் அவங்க சப்போர்ட்டில் நான் இருக்கேன் அப்படிலாம் நான் சொல்ல மாட்டேன். I am very independent by all aspects. So that I could do, that is something I cannot even, அதை நான் வந்து எஸ்ஏயாக எழுதி சொன்னால் கூட அந்த ஃபீலிங் வந்து சொல்ல முடியாது. I cannot express it enough. So that's the reason. My passion was very genuine. I understood how the industry works to some extent when I started. So that was enough confidence for me to quit a day job which I was going every day and earning enough, but then wasn't very happy earning. That's all.
Thank you, Soundarya. Susi sir, are we audible? Try calling him to this. So we'll continue the session. Soundarya, நீங்கள் சொன்னீங்க நான் no regrets இப்போ வரைக்கும்னு சொன்னீங்க. But being a female in this industry, whatever career option you choose, being a costume designer or whatever, no, whatever you do, acting தவிர எதுவாக இருந்தாலுமே உங்களுக்கு அது ஃபேமிலியோட ஒரு புஷ் இருக்கும்ல, யாருக்குமே அது ஒரு புஷ் இருக்கும்ல. வி கான்ட் கோ பியாண்ட் 30-35 புஷ் இருக்கும்ல. ஸோ ஹவு டு ஹேண்டில் தட்?
யூ ஹாவ் டு ஷோ தெம் வாட் யூ கேன் டூ. நம்ம வந்து வாய் வார்த்தையில் சொல்லி யூ கான் சே ஐ கேன் டூ திஸ், ஐ கேன் டூ தட் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டே இருந்தோன்னா அவங்க நம்ப மாட்டாங்க. சி எனி ப்ராமிஸ் வென் இட் இஸ் ரிட்டன் இன் த பேப்பர், ஒன்லி வென் யூ சி இட் ஒர்க்கிங், you'll know that it is actually working. And என்னோட பேரண்ட்ஸ்லாம் சும்மாலாம் கிடையாது. My father is a lawyer, my mother is a professor. You understand the kind of consistency they have had in their jobs. Except that my father, he's a little creative with how he argues. And my mom, though she's a professor, she's a professor in music. அதனால அந்த ஆர்ட்டோட வேல்யூ புரிஞ்சவங்க. my motherக்கு அந்த ஆர்ட்டோட வேல்யூ புரியும், ஆனால் மெயின் ஸ்ட்ரீம் மட்டும்தான் புரியும். இப்போ நான் வந்து ஒரு பாட்டு கற்றுக்கிட்டேன்னா ஒரு ஸ்கூலில் போய் பாட்டு சொல்லி கொடுத்துட்டு, அந்த ஒரு இல்லைன்னா ஒரு கவர்மெண்ட் இன்ஸ்டியூஷனில் போய் பாட்டு சொல்லி கொடுத்துட்டு அந்த நல்ல காசு வரும். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது சம்பாதிக்கலாம், அது அவ்வளோதான் அவங்களுக்கு தெரியும். பட் தென் இப்போ நான் க்ரியேட்டிவாக ஒன்று நான் பண்ணணும் ஆன் மை ஓன்னா, ஐ ஹேட் நோ அதர் சாய்ஸ் பட் டு ஷோ தெம் தட் ஐ ஹேட் டு டேக் தெம் டு பிளேசஸ் வேர் my initiatives happened for a performance. I brought in musicians with whom I performed. அதில் மக்களோட ரிசெப்ஷன் என்னன்னு அவங்களுக்கு புரிஞ்சுது. அண்ட் நான் ப்ரொஃபஷ்னலாக மியூசிக் ஃபுல் டைமாக எடுத்து இந்த வருஷத்தோட திஸ் இஸ் மை 10th year. ஐ எம் கம்ப்ளீட்டிங் 10th year. ஸோ ஐ திங்க் ஐ வாஸ் நாட் சம்மன் ஹூ வாஸ் ரியலி எக்ஸ்பெக்டிங் தெம் டு சப்போர்ட் ஆர் புஷ். இட் வாஸ் ஆல் இன்டர்னல். என்னதான் அப்பா அம்மாவாக இருந்தாலும் தேர் இண்டிவிஜுவல்ஸ் ஃபார் மீ. அவங்களால முடிஞ்சதை சொல்ல தான் முடியும். எனக்கு வேணுங்கிறது நான் பண்ணி தான் ஆகணும். எனக்கு வேணுங்கிறது நான் மட்டும்தான் பண்ணிக்க முடியும். ஐ நோ வாட் ஐ எம் டூயிங். ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் வேலிடேஷனும் எதிர்பார்த்ததில்லை, சப்போர்ட்டும் எதிர்பார்த்ததில்லை. இட் ஹஸ் ஆல் பின் வெரி வெரி, ஐ எம் நாட் ஈவன் ப்ரவுட் பிகாஸ் தட்ஸ் ஹவ் எவ்ரிபடி ஷுட் பி. ஐ எம் ப்ரௌட்லி இண்டிபெண்ட்னு கூட நான் சொல்ல மாட்டேன். இண்டிபெண்டன்ஸ் இஸ் வெரி ஓவர் ரேட்டட். நான் வந்து ரொம்ப இண்டிபெண்ட்டாக இருக்கேன் இல்லை, தட்ஸ் ஹவ் இட் இஸ் சப்போஸ் டு பி லைக் தட். சப்போர்ட் கிடைக்கிறது தான் அதிசயம். ஸோ அதை வந்து எங்கள் அப்பா அம்மா என்னை ரொம்ப சப்போர்ட் பண்ணாங்க. விடலைன்னு எல்லாம், நீங்கள் கரெக்டாக நீங்கள் நியாயமாக உங்கள் வேலையை படித்து ஒழுங்காக பண்ணியிருந்தீங்கன்னா, இல்லை என்னோடய மியூசிக்லேயுமே நான் சொல்கிறேன், நான் கற்றுக்கிட்ட விஷயங்கள் நான் ரொம்ப சின்சியராக கற்றுட்டு இருந்திருக்கேன். நான் ஜென்ரலாக அப்படியே உள்ளுக்குள்ளே குதிச்சு இல்லை, ரேண்டமாக நான் ஒன்று ட்ரை பண்ணுறேன் இப்போது அப்படின்னு நான் குதிக்கலை. அது ஒரு ஸ்கில் இல்லையா? வாட் எவர் இட் இஸ், ஹேவ் டு கிவ் காம்படிஷன். எவ்வளோ நாள் தாக்கு பிடிக்க முடியும்? வாட் எவர் இட் இஸ், அதே லெவல் ஆஃப் காம்படிஷன் ஒரு ஸ்டார்ட் அப்பில் சே இட் இஸ் ஒரு கன்சியூமர் பேஸ்ட் ப்ராடக்டாக இருக்குது அப்படின்னா நம்ம நினச்சிட்டு இருப்போம் நம்ம தான் அது ஃபஸ்ட்டு பண்ணுறோன்னு. அது மாதிரி ஒரு 1000 பேர் ஆல்ரெடி பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பாங்க. பட் ஹவு டிஃப்ரெண்ட் யூ டேக் த ப்ராடக்ட் டு த கன்சியூமர் இஸ் வாட் மேக்ஸ் யூ might make you a pioneer in that industry. So enakku appadidha. There are so many people, if you come and see my environment, music ஒரு கடவுள் கொடுத்த வரோம் எல்லாம் ஓகே. பட் when it comes to profession, you have to be a notch better than everybody around you. So அதுக்கு ஒரு skill development, அதுக்கு இன்டர்னலாக ஒரு practice. I'm very consistent with whatever I do. I'm very sincerity is everything for me. நீங்கள் எந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில் இருந்தாலும் உங்களோட பேஷன், சின்சியாரிட்டி, your focus, it will definitely take you. I am very happy with whatever process I've gone through till today, and I know what I can do from here to some extent. ஏன்னா இப்போ டிஜிட்டல் வந்ததுக்கப்புறம் there is a shift for us, for people who have been used to television medium. இப்போ social media வந்ததுக்கப்புறம் there is a shift. So for me, I will be someone who, எனக்கு நான் 90s கிட்ஸாக இருந்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல, நான் ஜென்சி கிட்ட எதாவது கற்றுக்கணுன்னு நான் உட்காந்து கற்றுக்குவேன். If I have to understand if they are my audience, if I have to நான் உனக்காகலாம் நான் பாட்டு பாட மாட்டேன், நான் போய் ஜென்சி கிட்ட நான் சொல்ல மாட்டேன், நான் அவங்களுக்காகவும் பாடி தான் ஆகணும். So you have to have the capability to at least try to understand the shift. So அந்த மாதிரி adaptability and consistency with your work and everything இருக்கும்போது I think you are completely independent, and parents ஓட support எதிர்பார்க்கறதே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் தப்பு. You have to be very confident about yourself. That's where everything starts, is what I will. What do you think?
I have a little bit of difference in opinion. நான் எப்படின்னா, see, each one have their own lifestyle, the way they have brought up எல்லாம்ல. I'm somebody who's, it's not like depending on parents for something, but I always get their views on something. Yeah, that's always there. If you get an opportunity, maybe if they say no, I wouldn't have gone. I had parents who said, yes, you can do. Adanala, I'm here. Likewise, I'm married. The support of my husband is immense. Only after marriage, I got into acting. So in the acting career, okay, you can do this, you're doing really well, or you can do it better. Appadinu solra oru criticize pandradhukko, critic pandradhukko, I have a husband abdingiradhanaala. It's really nice to, take it forward with his support, with my parents' support, with my sister's support. So I'm always like, எனக்கு அவங்களோட support இல்லைன்னா நான் ஒன்றுமே இல்லைங்கிற ஒரு kind of feeling எனக்கு. So yeah, அதனால எனக்கு அப்படி, என்னோட view இப்படி.
Maybe I'm yet to experience support. I don't even know if I'll validate even if I get one. He'll also be an individual only for me. I will say we will be good friends, supporting each other and all. But then எனக்கு நானே தான் ஃபஸ்ட்டு, அதுதான் கடைசி வரைக்கும் கூட வரும் நான் நினைக்கிறேன். So that's how I have been raised, that's how I have been living till today. So yeah, you will probably have something to say, I think, regarding this.
No, I agree with many things, like the passion should be burning inside you. Without that, you can't overcome the difficulties that you may face. Definitely, success is always blended with some failures. So if you don't know how to handle failures properly, you will never succeed. And even if you succeed, that may be an accidental success. Only through failure, you can make the success consistent for long term.
I agree with you, sir. இப்போ நீங்கள் ரெண்டு பேர் சொன்னதில் you have two different perspectives, but ஒரு thread, ரெண்டு பேருமே very passionate. அது காமன். Though after marriage you had a passion, but you had time and you had patience to postpone your dream to satisfy everybody else, and then still you didn't leave your dream. இல்லையா? நீங்கள் ரொம்ப கான்ஃபிடென்ட்டாக அதை நான் செஞ்சே ஆவேன், என்ன கொஞ்சம் தள்ளி செய்ய போகிறேன், அவ்வளோதான். And now you achieved, right? So that is your view, and you are already on track. Bang on. So the passion and sincerity, it takes one everywhere, right? So that is there with you. But நம்மள மாதிரி நம்மளோட ப்ரொஃபஷனில் ஒரு ப்ரைம் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி கிடச்சி இந்த இடத்துல நம்ம அவங்கவுங்க ஃபீல்டில் ஒரு விஷனரியாக ஒரு விசிபிலிட்டி இதில் உட்காந்துருக்கோம் நம்ம 5 பேருமே. பட் ஆக்டிங்கோ இல்லை எனி ஃபார் தட் சேக் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி ப்ரொஃபஷனில் இஃப் சம்ஒன் டசன்ட் நோ whom to approach or what else to be done, ஸோ நீங்கள் வந்த டைம்லேயோ ஒரு ரொம்ப முன்னாடி டைம்லேயோ there was nobody for that guidance. ஸோ ஃபிலிமில் ஏதாவது இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி வேணுமா உடனே மெட்ராஸ்க்கு போகணும், சென்னைக்கு பஸ் ஏறணும், கரெக்டா? ஸோ அப்படி ஏறி வந்தவங்க பல பேர் சாரோட டைம்லலாம் அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய நடந்திருக்கும் இல்லையா? ஓகே. ஸோ இப்போ
கான்டாக்ட்ல தான் உங்களுக்கு வந்து எல்லாமே
கரெக்ட். ஸோ மெட்ராஸ்க்கு வந்தே ஆகணும் பஸ் ஏறி. அப்போ அப்படி இருந்த காலம் போய் இப்போ நீங்கள் சொன்ன ஷிஃப்ட் நிறைய வந்துட்டதுக்கு அப்புறம் ஸோ இப்போ நீங்கள் சொன்னீங்க இல்லையா? ஸோ இஃப் இட் இஸ் ஜென்சி ஆடியன்ஸாக இருந்தால் கூட ஐ வில் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் வாட் டு தே நீட், நான் அங்கே இறங்கி வருவேன் அப்படின்னு சொன்னீங்க இல்லையா? ஸோ வி ஹாவ் அ வெரி கிரேட் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஹியர். அக்தர் மேடம், you have your own mobile app for catering to various opportunities in the industry, right, ma'am? So please brief about that initiative as a CEO of that, kinosphere.in.
So, hi, good afternoon, everyone. I entered the film industry 10 years back, but 23 years back I had started my own IT company. And I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I had started various websites. So as the ages went by, I think I'm pretty old that way. So as the decades, now almost 2.5 decades, we had to make a shift in how things happen. So as she said, time was when people used to just take a bus to Chennai or Bombay or wherever, struggle and live by doing different things, do small jobs, sometimes get an opportunity, otherwise just return home. Then there was a time when, as I know there are a lot of you are students, especially engineering college students. When I learned filmmaking 10 years ago, I think everybody in the engineering colleges wanted to be a filmmaker because they had those hard disks. They had 1,000 films to see before they die. And they all wanted to be filmmakers, and they did small films. And some of them managed to take it for festivals, this, that. Now it has become even more easy. You take it to the festival, you don't take it to the festival, you just put it on your YouTube channel. And if you have the talent, or if there is something unique, as she said, you have to bring something unique to the table. People will follow you. Sometimes even by doing stupid things, people have following. But as this Gangnam Style, they said it was a very stupid step, but he had been in the industry for a long time to get that step and get that Gangnam Style to be a hit. So even if people say you are doing stupid things, each reel, each movie that you make gives you experience. Now, as I said, 10 years ago I suddenly thought, okay, I'm a writer, I should become a filmmaker. So I saw an ad, Rajiv Menon's Institute. I joined there. I studied. I was much older than all my classmates. And then I went on to work with Mr. Rajnikant, K.S. Ravi Kumar, other people. And I took a break after that due to personal reasons. And 10 years back, maybe 8 years back, I came back to write a series for Amazon. And at that time, I realized that many of the students who were with me, only about 5% had made it properly into the industry. The rest were still struggling because they did not have a network and they did not know how to reach. And then as I went around, met a lot of people, I realized that there is a need for a platform where you can specifically showcase your work to filmmakers. And like recently, Mr. K.S. Ravi Kumar himself gave an opportunity to produce a film to a student who had made a film and had got some mileage out of that, like a lot of following. So, of course, later that guy didn't do the film because then he needed more experience. So, Kinosphere, that is, Kino is a film in Europe, and I intend to take this to the world. So it's Kinosphere, and as of now it's .in. We are still working on the app. We have some features up, but then it keeps crashing. Soon we will be announcing it that you can come and register. Already some 250 people have registered. We are just starting out, but the idea is to give you a platform where we have a short film OTT. So your short films are like OTT, where peer group, where people, so suppose today an assistant director sees your film and he is also struggling in the industry. He goes and his producer is looking for a new director for some movie. Then he recommends your film, saying that he has made a great film. Why don't you give him an opportunity? And they know where to reach you. This process was being done earlier also, like assistant directors, they sit and they go through YouTube and then they suggest to their directors. You know, so this platform, that is why I purposely made it peer-to-peer. So unlike other like Backstage and all which are internationally there, they go to the industry, they go to Disney and say, okay, what is the vacancy? They go to Raj TV, for example, or Polymer TV or something, and say, okay, give us the serial vacancies that you have. Like, you know, I think you were acting in something, so people would have reached out to you. There are model agencies. But now we want to put it here so that there are a lot of vacancies which people cannot get to know. Like this is the insider's information. And this recommendation works a lot in the film industry. But they may not know you, but they may know your work. So they will say, okay, there is a vacancy in my company, please apply. So it's like that. These are vacancies that you will not come across normally. I think if any of you have tried in the film industry, I think these two people can vouch for it. People will promise you and not give you the work because they are thinking process and something. So we hope that these peer-to-peer vacancies are urgent. Today suddenly the lady didn't come, I want somebody to replace her. Today the photographer is not available and the shoot has shifted from say April to suddenly May. And that photographer is not available for May because he has booked somewhere else. So these sudden vacancies should help you to make an entry into the film industry. I think apart from directors and assistant directors, all other category of talent and technicians, they need frequent jobs in the film industry. Unlike an assistant director or a director who puts in 2 years into a film planning and executing, the cinematographer works only for a few months. The actors have their dates and some practice sessions. So they need more work to sustain. In fact, as I told you, I run an IT company. And 5 years they have worked, they come to work for us because they don't have suddenly enough work. So we are hoping to give enough work. So we are still working on it. We want you to come and try it out. And because we are starting this from Chennai, Tamil Nadu is our focus. We have offline support also for you guys who are interested. We have jobs for script writers, we have jobs for singers, musicians, everything. Anything you want to do in the film industry. So this is what opportunities we are giving. Before I hand over the mic back, I just want to touch upon the topic that how can you be entrepreneurs in this industry? First of all, entry is very difficult, right? So I would suggest, so if you are a musician, like she is a musician, she is also into say anchoring, whatever, whichever field you are in, now she is getting some projects, she needs to maybe do a startup in this. So she has to see her own pain points and work and start something that will remove the pain points of the area that she is in. Because she is an insider, she will know how the process happens, where the pitfalls are, where hand holding is needed, right? Suppose I come from a tech background and I am also a director, so I can even make a software for call sheets, which will, instead of printing out paper, distributing early in the morning, we just, nowadays WhatsApp, rest, we can just have an automated system which will go. So there is a couple of companies that are doing this, that I know of. So various things, if you are a photographer, say, then you work on camera rentals maybe, because the latest cameras that are coming, you go and tell people that you can try this camera, whatever, and depending on the investment capacity, of course, or you can be into events. So you can be an entrepreneur in your related area of work. So if any of you have a talent that fits into the film industry and you want to do a startup, please do something that you are already doing related to that. That will be helpful.
You addressed all my future questions also. So that much you have explained. We also had one of our Naveen, one of my CSE student, 2016, I guess so. He was actually developing a mobile app for the same. Right now he is production all needs the mobile app covered, and he was experimenting it with our incubation. And even now he is into that. Maybe I will connect him with you. So probably would have connected to you already. I didn't know in what name the mobile app was. What is he doing right now? I'm not aware, but it's there. So people are on the right track. Only thing is, no, Naveen didn't get that much support, even from his own family then. But now he is successful. So that is what I'm trying to say. So ஆக்டிங்கை தாண்டி நிறைய விஷயம் இருக்கு. அதில் எவ்வளவோ எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் பண்ணலாம். We have to create awareness. So my request to the artists that you please come outside and speak with every one of us, stating there are other needs also, so that more people come there. So நிறைய creativity இங்கே இருக்கு, வேஸ்டாக இருக்கு. அது வேஸ்ட் ஆகாமல் பண்ணுறதுக்கு நீங்கள் நிறைய பேசணும். ஸோ திஸ் மை ரிக்வெஸ்ட் டு எவ்ரி ஒன் ஆஃப் யூ. ஸோ ஹேவிங் செட் தட், ஸோ நவ் மை கொஸ்டின் இஸ் டு அருள்மூர்த்தி சார். ஸோ இட்ஸ் அ வெரி சீனியர் பர்சன் அண்ட் பயனியர் இன் ஹிஸ் ஓன் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி. நம்மளாம் நினச்சே பார்க்க முடியாத டைமில் ரிஸ்க் எடுக்கிறதுல, அந்த ரஸ்க் சாப்பிட்றத விட பயங்கரமாக ஏதோ சாப்பிட்ருக்காரு அவரோட டைமில் இல்லையா? ஸோ அவ்வளோ ரிஸ்க் டேக்கிங் மென்டாலிட்டி உங்கள்கிட்ட பேசுனதுலேருந்து ஐ ஜஸ்ட் எக்ஸாமின் தேட். ஸோ நீங்கள் எப்படி ரிஸ்க் எடுத்தீங்க? உங்கள் ஒய்ஃபோ அப்போ உங்களுக்கு கல்யாணம் ஆயிடுச்சா நீங்கள் ரிஸ்க் எடுக்கும்போது? நாங்களாம் லேடிஸ், நாங்கள் ரிஸ்க் எடுத்தாலும் சரி போன விடுவாங்க. நீங்கள் எப்படி ரிஸ்க் எடுத்தீங்க? அப்போ உங்களுக்கு பொண்ணு எப்படி கொடுத்தாங்க அதையும்
நான் இந்த பில்டிங்க்கு அடுத்த பில்டிங் எலக்ட்ரானிக்ஸ் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் 1986 ஐ ஸ்டடிட் மை போஸ்ட் கிராஜுவேட் டிப்ளமா இன் கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ். அப்போ கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ்க்கு தனி டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் கிடையாது, எலக்ட்ரானிக்ஸ் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டுக்குள்ள ஒரு சின்ன ஏரியா கொடுத்துருந்தாங்க. அங்கே தான் என்னுடைய கம்ப்யூட்டர் கிராஃபிக்ஸோடைய ஃபஸ்ட்டு எக்ஸ்போஷர் கிடைச்சிது. ஏன்னா அப்போ கம்ப்யூட்டர்ஸ்க்கு ஒன்லி டிஸ்பிளேவே கிடையாது. IBM 360 கம்ப்யூட்டர் பஞ்ச் கார்டில் ஒர்க் ஆகும். ஆமாம்,
சத்தியமா பஞ்ச் கார்ட் டைம்ல நீங்க கிராஃபிக்ஸை இமேஜின் பண்ணீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு பூர்வ ஜென்மத்திலேருந்து ஏதோ வந்திருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். நெவர் இமேஜின்.
ஆனால் என்னன்னா 1985 இந்தியாவில் IBM PCs வந்துச்சு. உடனே அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டி அதை ப்ரொக்யூர் பண்ணி எங்களுக்கெல்லாம் அந்த எக்ஸ்போஷர் கொடுத்தாங்க. அப்போ ஐ டெவலப்ட் ஒன் சாஃப்ட்வேர் விச் இஸ் லைக் கூகுள் மேப். ஆமாம், சென்னை கார்பரேஷனுடைய டேட்டாவெல்லாம் கேப்சர் பண்ணி I designed a project where you can give source and destination, where the software will find the shortest route by two-wheeler, four-wheeler public, four-wheeler private. அதுக்கு IITல அவார்டு கிடைச்சிது. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி கம்ப்யூட்டர்ஸ் அப்போ கலர் கிடையாது, இட்ஸ் ஒன்லி க்ரீன். அந்த ஃபாஸ்பரில் ஆன் ஆர் ஆஃப் அப்படி தான் இருக்கும். ஆமாம், க்ரீன் தான். ஆனால் ஆமாம். ஸோ அங்கே இருந்து சின்ஸ் ஐ வாஸ் டிப்ரைவ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் த கலர்ஸ், ஹார்ட்வேர், சாஃப்ட்வேர், ஈவன் டுடே திஸ் ஆல்மோஸ்ட் 38 years later, still I am very passionate. I work around 15 hours a day and we are creating some of the latest, there is a virtual production சொல்லி நிறையா பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. We are bringing back MGR live, where you will feel like you are actually seeing the real MGR, not like an animated version. So in between what happened is I have worked for around 350 movies as a visual effects supervisor. I have edited 3,500 ad films as an editor myself. Wow. And hundreds of documentaries, short films. I introduced India's first digital format. Film format lerundu neenga digital ena digital platform it is very flexible, whereas the film format very rigid. neenga adula or color correction pandraduna kuda romba limited ah panna mudiyum. And neenga and idu screen அப்படியே மாத்திரலாம். next screen போடுங்க. Next கூட போயிடலாம். So that is a kind of journey that I have taken from 1986 till today as a computer graphics professional. I mean software professional. Then I became a video editor. I did animation and visual effects for My Dear Kuttichatan, India's first 3D movie. Then in 1996 I started my company called Digital Magic. 96. 86 I started working, and 96 I started my company Digital Magic. Then in the year 2000 I introduced digital cinema to India, where people refused to accept it that film will never die. They said film is king and you can never change that. Period. Dawns of the movie industry challenged me. They were all kind of supporting each other.
No, then they died.
Then I went ahead and produced India's first digitally made movie. S.A. Chandrasekhar, Vijay's appa, he was the director. And that is apparently the first film where the entire movie was color corrected. But DA in நம்ம சொல்றோம். அப்ப DA ன்னு அந்த இதே கிடையாது, அந்த டேர்மே கிடையாது. But that was the first movie. Also it had a lot of other innovations like photogrammetry ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு. இப்போ வந்து if I take 100 photos of you, I'll be able to create a digital avatar of you exactly like you. பக்கத்துல 3D model and photo வச்சிங்கனாக்க கண்டுபிடிக்கவே முடியாது. But in 2002 I applied that process for creating some of the work in the computer graphics. So innovation அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து it is always part of me. Innovation in every step. ஸோ நீங்கள் கேட்ட அந்த இது வந்து எப்படி ரிஸ்க் எடுக்கிறீங்க அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து இஃப் யூ ஹாவ் இன்வெஸ்டட் இனஃப் டைம் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் யுவர் சப்ஜெக்ட், அது வந்து இது பண்ணால் பணம் வரும், இது பண்ணால் ஒரு அப்படிங்கிறதெல்லாம் நான் அப்படியெல்லாம் யோசிக்கவே மாட்டேன். எனக்கு வந்து ஒரு விஷயம் பிடிச்சிருக்கு அப்படிங்கிறது நான் ஒரு சென்ஸோட ஐ வில் இன்வெஸ்ட் மை டைம், எனர்ஜி, எஃபர்ட் அண்ட் மணி இன் தட் ஏரியா. Mostly I have been very successful pioneering the industry in that direction. Usually institutionsக்கும் இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கும் ஒரு கேப் இருக்கும். அது நீங்கள் அதை பற்றி அடிக்கடி பேசியிருக்கீங்க. I run Da Vinci Media College, which was a training division of our studio. We also have a gap, except we are running ahead of the industry at least by 4 to 5 years. What we say, what we do, industry has followed. I'm not இப்போ இதுக்கு தற்பெருமைக்காக சொல்லலை, அந்த அளவுக்கு வந்து நாங்கள் எஃபோர்ட் போடுறோம். அண்ட் தட் இஸ் ரியலி திங். ஸோ அதனால் இஃப் யூ ஆர் வெரி கான்ஃபிடென்ட் அபவுட் த டொமைன் யூ ஆர் இன், கெட் ஆல்வேஸ் லேர்னிங். அந்த எனக்கு வந்து இந்த 15 hours நான் சொன்னேன்ல, அதில் மெஜாரிட்டி ஆஃப் த டைம் இஸ் ஸ்பெண்ட் ஆன் லேர்னிங். எவ்ரிதிங் எல்ஸ் ஹேப்பன்ஸ் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்லி. If you are deeply understood the subject, what others feel as a challenge, it will be நீங்கள் சொன்ன மாதிரி தான், ரஸ்க் சாப்பிட்ற மாதிரி தான், ஈஸியாக பண்ணிடலாம். ஸோ நம்ம ஸ்டார்ட் அப் பற்றி பேசுகிறதுனால தான் நான் சொல்கிறேன், யூ ஷுட் நாட் டூ ஸ்டார்ட் அப் ரன்னிங் ஆஃப்டர் மணி. அது பண்ணிங்கனாக்கா ஃபஸ்ட் திங் யூ வில் லூஸ் இஸ் யுவர் ஃப்ரீடம். இஃப் யூ லூஸ் யுவர் ஃப்ரீடம், யூ கேன் நெவர் பி இன்னோவேட்டிவ். யூ வில் பி ஸ்லேவ் டு சம்படிஸ் திங்கிங். You will never enjoy. The 38 years நான் வந்து not even a moment I felt that we had got into this wrong industry. ஏன்னா சினிமா இண்டஸ்ட்ரி மாதிரி ஒரு டெட்லைன் புஷிங் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி வந்து நீங்கள் எதுவுமே பார்க்க முடியாது. ஒரு மாதத்தில் பண்ணுற வேலையை ஒரு வாரத்தில் அவுட்புட் கொடுக்க சொல்லி டைரக்டர், அசிஸ்டன்ட் டைரக்டர், ப்ரொடியூசர், அவங்க வீட்டில் இருக்கிறவங்க எல்லாரும் வந்து உங்கள் ஸ்டுடியோவில் உட்காந்துட்டு டார்ச்சர் பண்ணுவாங்க. அது ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்டில் சம்டைம்ஸ் ஒரு பொங்கலில் வந்து நான் 4 படம் ரிலீஸ் பண்ணேன். ஒரே பொங்கலில் 4 படம், இன்க்ளூடிங் திருப்பாச்சி. அந்த படத்தில் வர எல்லா கிராஃபிக்ஸும் நான் பண்ணதான். அந்த மாதிரி பயங்கரமான ப்ரெஷர் இருக்கும். அப்போ அந்த ப்ரெஷரை எப்படி ஹேண்டில் பண்ணுறது அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு வந்து ரொம்ப முக்கியமானது வந்து முன்னாடி செஷன் பண்ணார்ல சார், மென்டல் ஹெல்த், ஃபிசிக்கல் ஹெல்த் ரெண்டுமே வந்து ரொம்ப முக்கியம். ஸோ ஐ டூ யோகா, மெடிடேஷன் இதெல்லாம் நான் பண்ணிட்டு தான் இருக்கேன். இல்லைன்னா நான் வந்து ஐ would have got heart attack long back. But I am not anywhere near. I am Definitely. I mean, I motivate my students, like we have a push-up competition every week. Every Saturday, we have all our students lined up and they have to do push-up. At least they will understand where they have to start. So, a lot of fun.
ஸோ ரொம்ப பிரெத் டேக்கிங்காக இருக்கு உங்களோட ரிஸ்க் டேக்கிங் எபிலிட்டி. நீங்கள் எங்கே இருந்திருக்கீங்க? தென் நாங்கெல்லாம் காலேஜில் படிச்சிருந்துருப்போம், அட்லீஸ்ட் காலேஜ் கால் மதிச்சிருப்போம். யூ ஹேர் ஆல்ரெடி ரீச்ட் பியாண்ட் மவுண்ட் எவரெஸ்ட்.
இன்னும் நிறைய பண்ண வேண்டியது இருக்கு.
தட் இஸ் வாட் இஸ் மை கொஸ்டின். இப்போ அடுத்தது வந்து என்ன பண்ண போறீங்க? அடுத்த ஒரு 5 இயர்ஸ்ல என்ன பண்ண போறீங்க?
இப்போ நான் படங்களுக்கு விஎஃப்எக்ஸ் பண்ணும்போது நிறைய தடவை ஒரு ஸ்டூப்பிடான கான்செப்டுக்கு ஒர்க் பண்ணுற மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஐம் நாட் பிளேமிங் எவ்ரிபடி. ஒரே ஒரு ஷார்ட் மட்டும் சொல்கிறேன், யார்கிட்டையும் சொல்லிடாதீங்க. ஒரு படத்தில் வந்து ஒரு படத்தில் வந்து லைஃப்ல போயிட்டு பரவாயில்ல, ஒரு வில்லன் வந்து ஷூட் பண்ணுவார். புல்லட் வந்து ஒரு விஜயகாந்தோட செஸ்டில் பட்டு அந்த புல்லட் வந்து பவுன்ஸ் ஆகி போய் வில்லன் அடித்து கொண்டுடும். இந்த கான்செப்ட் வந்து யூனோ தட் ஈவன் இன் ஒரு இல்லாஜிக்கலாக கான்செப்டோட நிறையா படங்கள் வரும் ஹாலிவுட்டில். அந்த மாதிரி சில படங்கள்லாம் அப்படியே எடுப்பாங்க. அதில் கூட அந்த மாதிரி பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. அப்போ நம்ம வந்து அதை சொல்கிறோம், சார் அதை வந்து சரி வராது, இது பார்க்குறதுக்கு ரொம்ப இதாக இருக்குன்னா, இல்லை அப்படி தான் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு அடமெண்ட்டாக அவங்க சொல்லும்போது நமக்கு தோணும், ஐயோ இதை நம்ம வெளியில் கூட சொல்லிக்க முடியாது, ஏன்னா இது ரொம்ப ஒரு 20 வருஷம் ஆயிடுச்சு, அதனால நான் சொல்கிறேன். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி சம்டைம்ஸ் வந்து யூ ஃபீல் தட் யூனோ யூ ஆர் கிவிங் லைஃப் டு சம்படிஸ். ஐ மீன் இன்னும் க்ரியேட்டிவாக நல்லா பண்ண முடியும், பண்ணுறதுக்கு நிறையா ஸ்கோப் இருக்குது. Because the creative freedom is available in cinema. நல்லா அதில் எவ்வளவோ பண்ண முடியும். அப்போ எனக்கு அந்த இன்னும் பெட்டராக நம்ம வந்து ஒன்று பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு தோணுச்சு. அது தவிர இந்த ஹாலிவுட் மூவிஸோட ஒர்க்லாம் இங்கே இந்தியாவுக்கு வர ஆரம்பிச்சது, நிறைய போஸ்ட் ப்ரொடக்ஷன் ஒர்க். நான் வந்து ரொம்ப ஸ்டபர்னா ஐ டிசைடட் ஐ வில் நாட் டூ எனி ஒர்க் தட் இஸ் பிலோ மை லெவல் ஆஃப் பீக் ஸ்கில்ஸ். அது இந்த ரோட்டோஸ்கோப்பி அந்த மாதிரி சும்மா டிஜிட்டல் டச் அப்ஸ் அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய ஒர்க் போயிட்டுருக்கு. thousands of people are working. Okay, that is their choice. But I adamantly decided not to even take 1 rupee in those kind of projects. What will happen is you will lose your identity. You will become part of that cycle where you are realizing somebody's dream. அப்படி போயிடக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஐ டிசைடட் கான்சியஸ்லி லெட் மீ ட்ரெயின் பீப்புள், ஆர்மி ஆஃப் ஆர்டிஸ்ட். தட் இஸ் ஹவ் Da Vinci Media College we have been really am actively involved in it, where we are training students. எங்கள் செகண்ட் இயர் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் வந்து ஹாலிவுட் லெவலில் ஒர்க் பண்ணுறதுக்கு ரெடி ஆகிடுவாங்க செகண்ட் இயரில். ஸோ இந்த தேர்ட் இயர் வி ஸ்பெஷலைஸ் them in very specific skills பண்ணிட்டு இப்போ now I have hundreds of artists available to me. If I want to make a movie, I can do it. அது இப்போ ஒரு ஸ்லைடு இருக்கு பாருங்க, அடுத்த ஸ்லைடு போங்க. அடுத்தது கூட அந்த ஹனுமான் மாதிரி ஒன்றா இருக்கும். அடுத்தது yeah, so this is a project called 2047. So I am directing that movie where it will be completely virtual production. I will be using the students for doing their work. So அவங்களுக்கு என்ன ஒரு பெரிய பெனிஃபிட்னாக்கா, they will be on the cutting edge technology. ஹாலிவுட்டில் கூட யாரும் பண்ணாத சில விஷயங்களை வந்து நம்ம பண்ணுறோம். இதுக்கு வந்து பெங்களூரில் ஐ ஹேட் செட்டப் ஒன் பிளேஸ் கால்ட் AVGC COE, Center of Excellence. இட் இஸ் கம்ப்ளீட்லி டிசைன் பை மீ. 2012 நான் அந்த டிசைன் பண்ணி கொடுத்தேன் இதில் கர்நாடகா கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு. they funded 50 crore for that lab. It is one of its kind in the country, and it has motion capture, facial capture, AR VR lab, other chroma key studios, VR innovation lab அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு 30,000 square feet fully I designed, thought of making use of it, and it is ready and functional. So I'll be able to match to what Hollywood is delivering. Because technology is available, opportunity, manpower is available, and I am also now confident about my directorial skills. So I've been practicing because originally I was a software developer, so I didn't want to jump into in the 2002 la ennoda and muttam and padam pannumbodhu everybody was saying that you should direct the movie. But I know my skills and weakness and strength and weakness. So at the time I decided not to do that. Then after that I learned what really good filmmaking could be. So I have many scripts. அதை narrate பண்ணும்போதே வந்து எல்லாரும் வந்து அதில் ஒரு இது இருக்குது, யூனிக்னஸ் இருக்குன்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. ஐ நார்மலி டோன்ட் காப்பி. தட் இஸ் ஒன் திங் விச் ஐ கேன் ஃபீல் ப்ரௌட். ஒரு ஃப்ரேம் கூட இந்த 38 இயர்ஸில் ஐ நெவர் காப்பீட் ஈவன் அ சிங்கிள் ஃப்ரேம் ஃப்ரம் எனிபடி. ஒன்ஸ் யூ ஸ்டார்ட் காப்பிங் தென் யூ பிகம் வீக். எவ்ரி டைம் யூ வில் ஃபால் இன் டு இட். இப்போ ஏஐ கூட அந்த மாதிரி தான். பீப்புள் ஆர் சேயிங் தட் ஏஐ கேன் ஹெல்ப் டு கிரேட் எக்ஸ்டென்ட். பட் அதுக்கும் வந்து கவுண்டர் டூல்ஸ் வந்துடும். இஃப் யூ ப்ரெசன்ட் சம்திங், the other whoever is viewing will rate it how much of it is taken from AI. So you can definitely use it as a tool, not that you should stay away from that. But unga thinking, ungalode creativity, ungalode and exploration, அது எல்லாமே வந்து இருக்க வரைக்கும் தான் நீங்களா இருக்க முடியும். ஏன்னா உங்களை மாதிரி 1,00,000 பேர் அதே டூலில் யூஸ் பண்ணும்போது then you will lose your uniqueness. ஸோ அது ரொம்ப டெக்னாலஜியை வந்து நம்ம கான்சியஸாக கரெக்டாக யூஸ் பண்ணாக்கா தென் இட் வில் பி ரியலி ஃபென்டாஸ்டிக். ஸோ திஸ் 2047 வில் பி அ பாத் பிரேக்கிங் மூவி, நாட் ஒன்லி ஃப்ரம் இந்தியா லெவல், ஐ ஹோப் இட் வில் பி இன்டர்நேஷ்னல் லெவல். ஏன்னா நம்ம வந்து நம்ம ஹிஸ்ட்ரி வந்து நம்ம சரியாக சொல்லித்தரல. நம்ம கிட்ஸ்க்கு நம்ம ஜென்ரேஷன்ஸ்க்கு வந்து இந்தியன் ஹிஸ்ட்ரி வந்து நம்ம சரியாகவே சொல்லித்தரல. ஸோ அதனால் அதனோட பேஸ் லைன் வந்து the history repeats with a twist this time, with a twist. So and mari I have some purpose of doing this project, not only to show the technological innovations, we also need to show what is the real history of our great country. ஏன்னா நம்ம வந்து எல்லாம் யூஎஸ் நீங்கள் போய் பாருங்கள், ஐஐடியில் போய் எல்லாம் the best brains of the country go to IIT. அங்கிருந்து நேராக எக்ஸ்போர்ட் டு யூஎஸ். தட்ஸ் அ ஷேம் ஆக்சுவலி. வி ஷுட் நாட் பி டூயிங் தட். வி கேன் ஆல்வேஸ் சே தட் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி இஸ் நாட் அவைலபிள். ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி வில் கம். லுக் அட் இஸ்ரேல். இஸ்ரேல் வந்து 1946-47 when it was formed, it is not even a country. few daysல வந்து 6 nations around the country, they invaded or they tried to attack Israel and they defended, and now they are considered to be one of the greatest startup ecosystem in the world. 90 lakhs தான் பாப்புலேஷன். இந்தியா சென்னை பாப்புலேஷனை விட ரொம்ப குறைவான பாப்புலேஷன். உலகத்தில் வந்து இந்த விவசாயம், இப்போ எங்கள் ஊர் வந்து சத்தியமங்கலம், அங்கே போகும்போது சம்மர் டைம்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்கா வறண்டு போயிருக்கும், அப்படியே காஞ்சு ஒரு மாதிரி கஷ்டமாக இருக்கும் பார்க்குறதுக்கு. ஆனால் இப்போ போனீங்கன்னாக்கா எல்லாம் பசுமையாக இருக்குது. தேங்க்ஸ் டு இஸ்ரேல். ட்ரிப் இரிகேஷன், அந்த மாதிரி நம்ம பண்ணக்கூடிய விஷயங்கள் வந்து இட் ஷுட் அஃபெக்ட் பீப்புள் அரவுண்ட் அஸ் இன் அ பாசிட்டிவ் வே. ஸோ அது வந்து ஐ எம் வெரி கான்சியஸ். ஸோ ஈவன் டாவின்சி மீடியா காலேஜில் வந்து வி டீச் சப்ஜெக்ட்ஸ் விச் வி ஆர் வெரி கிளியர். Without investing enough time and energy into a subject, we will never pretend to teach anything. We will always learn deeply, then we start the course. So அந்த மாதிரி இப்போ வந்து நான் விர்ச்சுவல் ப்ரொடக்ஷன் சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு டிகிரி பண்ணியிருக்கேன். அது வந்து probably after 2 to 3 years only it will be launched. So now we are learning. So like that, we have to do things in the right way, then things will fall in place.
I have a question. I was part of the Kochadian team and we wrote a beautiful story, and of course we had Media One and people like that behind. Yes, and around that time Tintin had released and we were giving competition to Tintin. I think you have some idea what we did with it finally. So it was a massive effort, and somehow being in India we fell short of it. Yeah. So you are making another brave attempt after that. How long do you think will your film take? When can we expect release?
See, Coach Adian's script is really fabulous. No doubt. Yeah, it's a very good script. I would equate it with Bahubali. That is the quality of the script. But for making an animated movie, that's not the right script. Because in a cartoon animation, everything, every small, even a paper also, you have to animate it. So when you have thousands of characters in a war sequence and throughout the movie, so many characters coming in, it is extremely difficult to do a proper animation film. So if you look at even even motion capture also I'm saying, Tintin, for example, had a very limited number of characters. Mostly animated movies have very limited number of characters. There will be one main characters and a few supporting characters, and the locations will be repeated. So it's very easy to manage it that way. So that way I really feel that they put, your team has put really a mammoth effort. This is the comment that I put it for, I think, Aishwarya's LinkedIn page. Mammoth effort. But I think technically it was, the pipeline was not set properly.
Do you think we can
No, but
challenge Bollywood, Hollywood and...
No, definitely. See, I don't want to keep Hollywood as my standard. I never believe that only people from Hollywood can do the best. We can do better than them. No, even otherwise. You go and see Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple, 1000 years back. What people have done, today I am challenging, give enough budget, unlimited budget, and you ask somebody to do it by hand. I don't think that even one sculpture will be done properly in that scale.
Actually, they did give it to somebody who ran away in between. So they have empty walls now.
Right. So that is the kind of, if you are passionate, if you are deeply rooted in some way, I would say spiritual or some kind of beyond your subjects. Like for me, meditation is such a powerful thing. I work for 15 hours sometimes, and I go to sleep because I want to get up fresh next day, not because I am tired. I am afraid that tomorrow morning I may be tired. I am not really tired. So that kind of thing is possible. You should develop that kind of qualities. So definitely we will be able to surpass what everybody has done. I am not simply claiming, because that even that character, if you go near and see, it was designed by a student who had learned animation only for 6 months. And that is a very interesting story. Can I tell? That boy, his name is Nishok. He came to us for studying diploma in animation. We had 3 years degree and 1 year diploma course. So this boy came and he joined our course, and my faculty told that, this boy is really passionate. So I really look for, passionate, creative minds. So I asked him, what is your background? He had, after his 10th standard, he studied mechanical engineering, automobile engineering for 3 years. Because the parents told, you are drawing very well. So you should be an automobile engineer. After coming out, he said, I want to be a character designer. That's what he was telling in the beginning. And the parents pushed him into automobile engineering diploma. He came out, again they pushed him into plastic technology. I don't know on what logic. 6 years gone. Modeling. Again, he said, I want to be a character artist, character designer. Then they put him in an institute where they were teaching logo design. 1 year gone. 7 years. Then he stumbled upon us, and we teach him 3D modeling. After 6 months, we normally have a competition. So I told him, you create Hanuman with inspiration from Hulk. And if you look at that model, That is the output by a student who has studied only for 6 months of 3D. It will be as good as from one of the best Hollywood studios. So that is what I am saying. We have talent, except we have underutilized or misused them. Human resources are wasted so badly. China commented when India became the world's largest population. The immediate comment came from China was, our quality is much better than that. So they are saying that maybe they have lost a number, but they are saying that their quality is better. That is to some extent it's true also, because China government invited me in 2014 to discuss about animation city. They wanted to some advice at that time. So I went there and I saw what kind of training, very well focused training. Freedom is not there, but they have made everybody to perform. தமிழ்ல வந்து அழகா சித்திரமும் கைப்பழக்கம். ஒரே விஷயத்தை நீங்க திரும்ப 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 பண்ணும்போது நீங்க வந்து you will become very good at it. So that is what they have achieved. But as a democratic country we can't do it. But workshops like this can attract the best talents. So நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி எனக்கு என்ன ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம்னாக்கா, நான் ஆரம்பிக்கும்போது கம்ப்யூட்டர் கிராஃபிக்ஸ் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு டேர்மே யாருக்குமே தெரியாது. I had to explain what is computer graphics to somebody else. And from that time, for a long time, even after I got into cinema industry, working in the cinema industry, there was no recognition of cinema industry in any platform. It was considered to be a sin industry for a long time. So only in the last, I think 7-8 years, there is a change. And I feel really happy because இதே ஆடிட்டோரியத்தில் நான் உட்காந்து நிறைய செஷன்ஸ் அட்டன் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். I never thought one day cinema will be a subject where we are talking about young minds to come into this field. I feel very happy about it. Thanks for that opportunity, madam. Also this year in our Indian budget, they have announced the AVGC, Animation, Visual Effects, Gaming and Comic Action Group. So I also have contributed to some extent in that decision. So soon the policy, AVGC policy will be announced in India. So banks and other bodies will support projects like this. And இது வரைக்கும் வந்து பேங்க்லலாம் நீங்கள் போய் லோனே வாங்க முடியாது. சினிமாக்காரங்கன்னா பொண்ணு, நான் அது வேற கேட்டீங்க, பொண்ணு எப்படி கொடுத்தாங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு. அது நான் ரொம்ப பிஸியாக இருந்ததெல்லாம் கல்யாணம் பண்ணுங்கிறதே மறந்து போச்சு. ஸோ ஆல்மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப்டர் 30 ஐ ரியலைஸ் தட் ஐ ஹேவ் டு கெட் மேரிட். தென் ஐ காட் மேரிட் சம்படி ஹூ வாஸ் ஒர்க்கிங் வித் மீ. So it became very easy. So that's how it's a lot of fun. So people should join and put effort. சும்மா அப்படியே போட்டுட்டு அப்படியே கேஷுவலாக வந்துட்டு போனாலாம் வந்து it will not work out. You have to put, not only in this field, any field, whatever you want to be in, sincerely learn, keep learning. அது பிடிக்காம ஒரு வேலையில் சேராதீங்க. நீங்கள் சேர்ந்துட்டீங்கனாக்கா அதை வந்து பிடிக்கிறதுக்கான குவாலிட்டிஸை வளர்த்துக்குங்க. That is very important. Then work will become a hobby. It will never be a work. Till now it is like that only.
Thank you, sir. இப்போ ஏஐ கோர்சஸ் வந்து நிறைய காலேஜஸில் வந்து ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுறாங்க. ஸோ நம்ம வந்து ஒரு இன்ஜினியரிங் என்விரான்மெண்ட்டில் இருந்து இதை பேசுகிறோம். அப்போது அவங்களுக்கு டு கேட்டர் டு தேர் கிராஜுவேஷன், அவங்களோட டிகிரி அது வச்சு பார்த்தோன்னா இப்போ கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸை தாண்டி ஸ்பெஷலைசேஷன் இன் யூஜி வர ஆரம்பிச்சிருச்சு. மேபி நெக்ஸ்ட் இயர்னு நினைக்கிறேன் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஏஐ பேட்ச் வெளியில் வரும். Almost all colleges have taken this opportunity. BTech AI and data science இல்ல CSBS ன்னு ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்காங்க. somewhere இன்னொரு 3 கோர்ஸ் கிட்ட இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் புதுசா. பட் கிராஃபிக்ஸ்க்குன்னு ஒரு தனியா யூஜி ஸ்பெஷலைசேஷன் கொண்டு வர அளவுக்கு அதுல சப்ஸ்டன்ஸ் இருக்கா?
அதாவது ஏஐ chatGPT யோட CEO வந்து இந்தியன்ஸ் cannot do chatGPT மாதிரி ஒரு ஏஐ பண்ண முடியாதுன்னு ஒரு கமெண்ட் ஒன்று போட்டார் ஃபியூ டேஸ், ஜஸ்ட் 2-3 days பேக். அது என்ன ரீசன்னா, நம்ம வந்து சிலபஸ்லாம் வந்து அப்டேட் பண்ணோம் எல்லா சப்ஜெக்ட்டுமே. இல்லைன்னா if studying something outdated is waste of time. So if engineering college ஆ இருக்கட்டும், even other colleges ஆ இருக்கட்டும், the syllabus updation should happen every 6 months, not after every 1 year. That's how we do it. So the question is whether there is computer graphics specialization க்கு ஒரு கோர்ஸ் வேணுமானாக்கா, it is in the form of game engine. Some colleges are already offering game engine or game design engineering. All future communication will happen in the visual format. So real-time computing, the power is available with game engines, game software and hardware. அப்போ கண்டிப்பாக bright minds can create wonders. ஸோ ஏன்னா இன்ஜினியரிங் காலேஜ்லேருந்து நல்லா படிக்கிற அந்த 90 and above ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்லாம் அங்கே போயிடுறாங்க. அப்புறம் அவங்கள வந்து கூகுள், மைக்ரோசாஃப்ட், E&Y அந்த மாதிரி சம்டைம்ஸ் காப்பி பேஸ்ட் வேலைக்கெல்லாம் அவங்க போகும்போது, ஆமாம், ஸோ அவங்களுக்கு வந்து அந்த ஒரு இன்னோவேஷன், அந்த ஒரு இது இல்லாமல் ஒரு 10 வருஷம் ஐடியில் வேலை பண்ணிவிட்டு, ஐ ஹேவ் லாட் ஆஃப் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் 10 வருஷம் ஐடியில் வேலை பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க, ஒன்றா வேலையை ரிசைன் பண்ணிவிட்டு, அல்லது வந்து பேரலி தே கம் அண்ட் ஸ்டடி அனிமேஷன், மூவி கலர் கரெக்ஷன். நான் கேட்பேன், ஏன் முன்னாடியே வந்திருக்கலாமே அப்படின்னாக்கா, பேரண்ட்ஸ் அலோவ் பண்ணல அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. Definitely, there has to be a subject, particularly in the higher education இதில் வந்து it's a must. But education இதில் வந்து it's a must. But AI வந்து it is creating a lot of inroads into even this industry. And previously it was considered AI will only replace routine works, clerical work, அல்லது அந்த documentation அந்த மாதிரிலாம் சொன்னாங்க. அதெல்லாம் தப்பு. AI can do much better script than what a human can think and do. What human is doing is, we have a database, and from that collection of database we are squeezing some new or looking like new content. அவ்வளவுதான். Nothing is new. கரெக்ட் தானே? நான் ஒரு கார் மாடல் ரொம்ப புதுசாக பண்ணேன்னா, அந்த காரே ஒரு காப்பி தானே. முன்னாடி நடந்து போயிட்டு இருந்தோம், அப்போ நம்ம அதுக்கு வந்து ஒரு வெஹிக்கிள் தேவைப்பட்டது, அந்த வெஹிக்கிளுக்கு 4 சக்கரம் இருந்தது. அப்போ அதுலேருந்து நீங்கள் வந்து என்ன வேரியேஷன் பண்ணாலும் தட் இஸ் அ காப்பி. ஸோ இன் அ வே தட் ஏஐ ஹேஸ் தட் இன்ஃபினிட் ரெஃபரன்சஸ், மில்லியன்ஸ் அண்ட் மில்லியன்ஸ் ஆஃப் இமேஜஸ் ஆர் டெக்ஸ்ட் வந்து அது ஒரு செகண்டில் அப்படி எல்லாத்தையும் இது பண்ணி இட் வில் த்ரோ அட் யூ. எவ்ரி ஃபியூ செகண்ட்ஸ் யூ கேன் ஆஸ்க் ஃபார் அ வேரியேஷன். ஸ்கிரிப்டில் நானே ட்ரை பண்ணியிருக்கேன். ஒரு சீன் நீங்கள் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணிங்கனாக்கா, யூ கேன் கம் வித், ஐ மீன் யூ கேன் கெட் ரெஃபரன்சஸ் தட் யூ நெவர் தாட். ஒரு ஸ்கிரிப்டுக்கே வந்து அது ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்குது. அப்போ இன்னும் ஃபியூச்சரில் வந்து இட் ஆல் பிகம் லாட் மோர் ஈஸி டு ஆக்சஸ் அண்ட் லாட் மோர் சொஃபிஸ்டிகேட்டட். நம்ம அதை எப்படி யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கிறோங்கிறத வச்சு நாம் சர்வே பண்ண முடியுமா இல்லை என்னங்கிறது வரும். லாட் ஆஃப் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் டு பி ஆன்சர்ட், பட் லாட் ஆஃப் நியூ ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் ஆல்சோ வில் கம். இப்போ எக்ஸாம்பிள், ஒரு அனிமேஷன் ப்ராஜெக்ட்க்கு வந்து முன்னாடி ஒரு 100 பேர் பண்ணோன்னா ஐ கேன் டூ வித் 10 people நவ். அப்போது ஒரு படம் வந்த இடத்துல 10 படம் வரும். அப்போ அது அந்தளவுக்கு வந்து ஏடிஎம் வந்த போது எல்லாரும் தான் சொன்னாங்க, பேங்கிங் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி வில் டை பிகாஸ் ஏடிஎம் has come. But what really happened was, people who are hoarding the money in their house, they put the money in the bank. ஏன்னா முன்னாடி வந்து பேங்க்குக்கு போய் பணத்தை, என் பணத்தை நான் போய் கியூவில் நின்று எடுத்துகிட்டு வரணுமா அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு தாட் இருந்தது. ஸோ பீப்புள் ஆர் நாட் ரெடி டு புட் தேர் மணி இன் த பேங்க். பட் ஒன்ஸ் த ஏடிஎம் கேம், people deposited the money in the bank and the banking industry boomed to a great level. So AI also will do that kind of thing. You have to be smart enough to adapt to it. Illana, if you are going to do only the basic work, then your job will be taken away. That's for sure.
So thank you sir. எல்லாருக்கும் இந்த டவுட் இருக்கு. நான் 2 இயர்ஸ்ல திரும்பின பக்கம்லாம் எல்லாருமே ஆர்டிஃபிஷியல் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ் கிராஜுவேட்டா இருப்பாங்க. அது பிஎஸ்சி சரி, பிஇ சரி. ஸோ என்ன பண்ண போறாங்க? எல்லாருக்குமே எக்ஸ்பர்ட், டேட்டா சயின்ஸ் எக்ஸ்பர்ட், டேட்டா அனாலிட்டிக்ஸ் எக்ஸ்பர்ட். ஸோ அப்படி ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷன் வரும்போது we have to open up new opportunities. It's everyone of our responsibility, including the academicians, including the industry people. இது படிச்சீங்கன்னா இங்கெல்லாம் வரலாம் அப்படிங்கிற கனெக்ட் வந்து இன்னுமே ரொம்ப வெளியில வரல. So requesting everyone of you to connect that also wherever you go.
எல்லாமே ஷார்ட் டேர்ம் திங்கிங் லாங் டேர்ம் சொல்யூஷன் வேணும்னாக்கா பீப்புள் ஷுட் நாட் திங்க் லைக் திஸ். இந்த ஒரு ஸ்கில் இருந்ததுன்னா அது ஒரு வேலை கிடைக்கும், அது எவ்வளோ நாளைக்கு இருக்குங்கிறத பற்றி கவலையே கிடையாது. ஸோ இட் ஹாஸ் டு பி அ லைஃப் ஸ்கில், அடாப்டபிலிட்டி டு எனி சுச்சுவேஷன். அதை வந்து இப்போ எனக்கு வந்து ஒரு பெரிய அட்வான்டேஜ் என்னென்னா, ஐ ஆம் ஃப்ரம் அ வில்லேஜ் வித் அன் அக்ரிகல்ச்சரல் பேக்ரவுண்ட், லாட் ஆஃப் சேலஞ்சஸ். பட் அது அப்படி இருக்கும்போது I had adapted myself to many challenges in my life. அந்த மாதிரி வந்து younger generation also should be trained. அது இப்போ நான் வந்து since I do the admission counseling for Da Vinci Bangalore ஆஃபீஸில், we have a campus in Bangalore. நிறைய பேரண்ட்ஸ் வந்து குழந்தைகளை கூட்டிகிட்டு வந்து குழந்தைய பேச விடாமல் அவங்க தான் பேசுகிறாங்க. அந்த அப்ளிகேஷன் என்கொயரி ஃபார்ம் ஃபில்அப் பண்ணுறதுலேருந்து எல்லாமே அப்பா கூட இல்லை, அம்மா தான் வந்து எல்லாம் பண்ணுறாங்க. ஆமாம், அந்த பையன் வந்து பையனோ பொண்ணோ பேசாமல் இருக்காங்க. இல்லை, அவங்கள பார்க்கும்போது எனக்கு ரொம்ப கோபமாக வரும். லெட் them handle it. If you don't give an opportunity for them to fail, when they will fail. எல்லாம் பேரண்ட்ஸ்லாம் இறந்ததுக்கப்புறம் ஃபெயில் ஆனால் ரொம்ப டிசாஸ்ட்ரஸாக இருக்கும். ஸோ லெட் them fail in front of you, you can help them. அதை விட்டுட்டு அப்படியே நான் என் குழந்தைன்னு வச்சுட்டே இருந்தேன். அதுவும் இந்த கொரோனா வந்ததுக்கப்புறம் இன்னும் ரொம்ப மோசமாக போயிடுச்சு. வெரி பெத்தட்டிக். ஸோ நான் வந்து இந்த என்கொயரி ஃபார்மில் அதே போட்டிருக்கேன், டு பி ஃபில்டு பை த ஸ்டூடெண்ட்.
I would like to add to that because I run a software company too. And increasingly colleges are sending their students for 1 or 2 months of internship. So I feel, and I have felt this for a long time, that minimum 6 months to 1 year, many colleges have started that, you should put them in the industry. So a lot of people learn these technologies. When they come to us, they just don't know where to apply. They said, we just had these forms and madam we can do, but what can you do practically? So only if they work with the industry they will know. Also, when I started taking computer classes, I remember NIT used to offer classes for Excel, Word, right? Now everybody knows because they learn it in school or they just learn at home. So knowledge of these technologies will become a must for everybody. Like now everybody has to make a PowerPoint. But when I joined, I had to learn how to make a PowerPoint. I took coaching classes for that, So these technologies will come in handy because the technologies that you will use in the future will require you to have these. So the education definitely will not go waste. Whichever field or whichever company you join or whatever work you choose to do, all this will help you. So it's not like, oh, I learned so much and I don't know what to do. Right?
Thank you, ma'am. So opening up with that AI to Soundarya and Deepthi. We all know how much AI invention and innovation already has contributed to training oneself in music or establishing. But what do you think is the future maybe, or what do you want the future to be for AI to help you people in both of your professions?
If AI can reach people and teach them the correct way to learn music, I'll be very happy. நான் போய் ஒரு மாமி கிட்ட உட்கார்ந்து தான் நான் பாட்டு கற்றுக்க வேண்டாம், ஐ டோன்ட் ஹாவ் டு சிட், எனக்கு அதில் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இல்லை ஆனால் பாட்டில் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருக்குது அப்படின்னு இருக்கும்போது, if you think you can learn from AI, because mostly what people do is learn from AI. They've still not, they have not come to a level where they think it is a human. And the other end, actually a human da, if you think about it. Someone who is coding into it is actually a human. It can't function on its own unless, no, in the sense, whoever developed the whole thing, I'm talking about how it started. It was someone's startup idea which has come this far now. So what I'm saying, as long as it helps someone develop a skill in the first place, I'm okay with it. I'm really fine with it. And I always feel art and technology, when it is foreseen by somebody before, first yaar adha predict panni adha use pandrangalo, they'll always be running in the front. For example, இப்போ மியூசிஷியன்ஸ்னு எடுத்துக்கிட்டாலும் சரி, இல்லை ஆக்டர்ஸ்னு எடுத்துக்கிட்டாலும் சரி, இந்த legendary status அப்படிங்கிறது முடிஞ்சுது. You cannot create legends anymore because the industry has become so competitive and everybody has to have multiple talents to themselves to be recognized, to be popular, to be called for something and everything. You need not be only a musician. And the mother life illa. But there is this one person who's a legend and still gives competition to everybody is Mr. A.R. Rahman. Because he loves technology so much and he has incorporated it beautifully without losing the quality of music. Why would he want to direct a movie with virtual reality? Suddenly, why jump? Because that is something that excited him, and to provide quality sound for VR is very difficult. So that's what he tried achieving in the first place. To someone who wanted to work with him to create music, to compose music for a VR movie. He did not like the concept of the movie. He said, I'd like to direct it myself and compose so that I know how I'll make it shoot that particular VR film. So see how he is incorporating from the start, sounding length, so our miking technique length, the kind of mics that he uses, எல்லாத்துலமே வந்து technology or and the foreseeing capabilities has always been, he's been a little ahead of everybody compared to who he has as competitors back then. Now also, if there is Neumann or a mic company இருக்கு, அந்த Neumann வந்து பயங்கரமா ஒரு டெக்னாலஜி மைக் அவங்க கண்டுபிடிச்சாங்கன்னா இந்தியன் வாய்ஸஸ்க்கு தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டெஸ்டிங் வருவாங்க. அது ரஹ்மான் சாருக்கு தான் வரும். You can do how many more Vijay films, Ajit films, but அங்க டெக்னாலஜி ப்ராப்பரா இப்போ வரைக்கும் இன்டெகிரேட் ஆகி யூஸ் ஆகிற இடம் ரஹ்மான் சாரோட ஸ்டுடியோல தான். Like when he was mentioning Kochadayan, we knew I was a part of the album. அந்த பாட்டுக்கு அந்த ஆல்பம்க்கு தேவையான சேஞ்சஸ் technologically also what he did we know, even for voices. So he couldn't do, இப்போ சிவாஜிக்கு பண்ண மாதிரி அவரால் கோச்சடியாருக்கு பண்ண முடியாது, பண்ணக்கூடாது. சூட்டபிலிட்டின்னு ஒன்று இருக்கு. So that is there. He learns, he's so updated, like he says you have to update every 6 months. He is always updating. It is so inspiring to watch. What he does is every second minute if someone discusses, இப்போ இந்த மாதிரி நாங்கெல்லாம் உட்காந்து ஸ்டுடியோவில் ஏஐ பற்றி டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணோம், ஏதோ புதுசாக ஒன்று பார்த்துருக்கோன்னா he will definitely become a part of the discussion to know what we are talking about. He is very curious all the time to know what can be done and whatever is workable in his area of interest, what can be done musically to elevate, that is done. For example, Neetu Ambani அவங்களோட அந்த auditorium that is opened up in Mumbai. I am so happy finally India has one. It should have happened long ago because for the kind of technological brains that we had, for the kind of architects we had, for the kind of engineers we had, opera house மாதிரி ஒரு auditorium நமக்கு கிடையாது. Because அங்க வந்து it is not just entertainment, it is an art form. It is so respected. They made sure it will be invested for. Opera house, Australia இருக்கிற opera house, if you want to perform, if you get to perform, you will be so respected globally in wherever music is properly respected. Entertainment தாண்டி பார்க்குற இடங்களுக்கு இப்போதான் அது மும்பையில் வந்திருக்கு. சென்னையில் I would say இன்னும் 50 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி கட்டுற ஆடிட்டோரியம் தான் யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம் ஃபார் பர்ஃபார்மன்சஸ். இதர் வாட் இப்போ என்ன இருக்குன்னா, where are the architects from Anna University? Can I see them? Can I talk to them and say them, it is your biggest startup idea. Chennai is lacking a technologically advanced auditorium. There is none. எங்களுக்கு இல்லை, ஆப்ஷன்ஸே இல்லை. இருக்கிற ஆப்ஷன்ஸ் என்ன பண்ணுறாங்கன்னா, டிமாண்ட் இருக்கிறதுனால போயிட்டே இருக்கு மேலே. The rate is so high that it looks like the place is used so much, actually not. That's why they are not updated also. So it is very உள்ளுக்குள்ள அந்த லிங்க் கனெக்ஷன் இருக்கு. மியூசிக் அகாடமி ஆல்சோ இந்த சேம் இஸ் த சேம். ஒரு லைட் அங்கே ஒரு எல்இடி கூட we cannot patch and use. You can't do it without the permission because it is monopolized. Why is it monopolized? Because we are focusing on building more and more Kalyana Mandapams only. Can I see one auditorium where people can, or 250 people உட்கார்ற மாதிரி ஒரு நல்ல கான்செப்ட் கேட்குற மாதிரி டெக்னாலஜிக்கலி அட்வான்ஸ்ட் வித் நைஸ் சவுண்ட் இன்ஜினியர், அகைன் அங்கே ஒரு இன்ஜினியர் தான் வராரு, ஒரு ஆடிட்டோரியம் சென்னையில் கிடையாது. அண்ட் இந்த ஸ்டேட் செட்டப் பண்ணுறது மாதிரி ஆர்கிடெக்சரில் ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கான வேலை எதுவுமே கிடையாதுன்னு என்னோட ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் ஹூ ஒர்க் இன் மும்பை தேர் ஆல்வேஸ் brought here. ரஹ்மான் சரோட ஷோஸ்லாம் நான் நிறைய அதில் பெர்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணியிருக்கிறதுனால ஐ எம் டேக்கிங் இட் அஸ் அன் எக்ஸாம்பிள். ஸோ வென் வி பெர்ஃபார்ம் ஃபார் ஹிம் த ஸ்டேட் செட்டப் இஸ் they call it international. Why is it called international? It should be Indian, no? Why not? What is the standard? Who is setting the standard? Only the creative person sets the standard. Anga paakkradhukku it looks extremely creative. However the LED panels are fixed, however they have raised the stage. Nobody even wants to take the risk to do and offer a skill or develop a skill where they can say, I can do it for him here. We don't have in-house. We always bring people from somewhere. Mumbai la kuda you think Indians are doing it. No, they have somebody from America only working for them, for the state setup. Adha solren, Indian film industry should be first of all made safer, secured and not taken for granted. Though there are top tier stars who are making money, so அதனால அவங்க ஈஸியா சம்பாதிச்சுட்டு போயிடுறாங்க. அந்த மென்டாலிட்டி இருக்கிறதுனால அதுக்கு நடுவில் கஷ்டப்படுறவங்களோட அந்த எஃபர்ட் தெரியாமலே போயிடுது. So people don't know what makes them look like that, what makes them shine so much. It's such a big crew that if we are properly skilled, I really wish Kinosphere becomes so successful that even when somebody comes and tells me, நான் உங்களுக்கு ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி வாங்கி தரேன், நீங்கள் யூ டோன்ட் வரி அப்படின்னு சொல்லும்போது, பரவாயில்ல கீனோஸ்பியர் இருக்காங்க நான் பார்த்துக்கிறேன், நீ எனக்கு சொல்லணும். ஐ ஷுட் ஹாவ் தட் கான்ஃபிடன்ஸ். அந்த செக்யூரிட்டி, அந்த ஒரு ஸ்ட்ரீம் லைனிங் இப்போ பார்த்தா ஐயோ அதெல்லாம் நடக்காது அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கும். பட் ஒன்ஸ் திஸ் பிகம்ஸ் அ சக்சஸ்ஃபுல் திங், நோ, when they can promise opportunity in the right way without middlemen doing their funny business, taking it in their hands and promising opportunities, especially for women, when this becomes successful, nothing like it. So I am saying when somebody takes இந்த மாதிரி ஸ்டார்ட் அப் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் வரும்போது அதை யூஸ் பண்ணி நம்ம ஒன்று பண்ணணும். அதே இது எனக்கு வாட் ஐ டோன்ட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் வித் டைரக்டர்ஸ் இஸ் when they are struggling, they want something like Kinosphere, but when they grow, they don't want Kinosphere. I don't understand your logic. உங்களுக்கு மட்டும் நாங்கள் சப்போர்ட் பண்ணோம், அதுக்கப்புறம் வரவங்களுக்கு நீங்கள் சப்போர்ட் பண்ண மாட்டீங்களா? அப்போ மட்டும் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் ஃபேமிலின்னு போயிடுவாங்க. See, that's if you change like that, that is not fair. If you were wanting a right contact to support you, dane. So you had Kinosphere, for example, you had Kinosphere who showed you the path, saying you go to this director, work with him as an associate or an assistant for 3 to 6 months or for a project, and then based on that you do a short film, I'll put it on an OTT, and based on that you will get a project to develop a process. Why won't you believe in the same process when you want actors for your movie? உன்னோட ஃப்ரெண்டோட தங்கச்சியை நடிக்க வைக்கிறது, அக்காவோட ஹஸ்பண்டை நடிக்க வைக்கிறது, ஏன் அதுக்கு மட்டும் ஸ்கில் வேண்டாமா? When Kinosphere has taken that effort to create a database where there are so many people who are skilled in everything, then use them. So that's when you don't abuse power, don't abuse opportunity is what I'm saying. So it is a collective, extremely collective effort to make the industry look very workable. Not for a few, but for people who want to come in also. இல்லை எனக்கு இங்கே போய் இவங்கள்ட்ட கேட்டு இது பண்ணால் எனக்கு அது பண்ணணும்னு தெரியும், பட் அதுக்கு அந்த ஒரு விஷயம் நான் பண்ணணும்னா எனக்கு என்ன ஸ்கில் டெவலப் பண்ணிக்கணும்னு தெரியும். டெஃபினிஷன் அவங்களுக்கு கிடைச்சிருச்சுன்னா I think it is starting to happen. Slowly I can feel it. It is much better than how it was when I started. And I think we are going in the right direction. So I would say, look out for healthy startup opportunities. Implement it. Don't wait for validation. I am sure people will come in support of you. It might take time. For patience irundadna, if you are creative enough, if you know what you are doing, if you know your startup will only help people and support that particular industry to make it better, I think you should not even think twice to start. Even if you fail, it's okay. I think that is where I see the whole thing.
I absolutely agree to every point she said. And as we were discussing about AI, I think future is AI. Because we can't stop innovation, we can't stop growth, we can't stop intelligence. It keeps growing, no matter if you think or if you don't think, there's somebody else thinking and working for it. That's how the future is, and that is what the future is. So we'll just have to sit and watch the play, find out what people are doing innovatively. Sometimes that would be magic for you. Sometimes it will be something that you even didn't even think of. And if in case works out very well in film industry or in IT industry, it's good for everyone, right? If it does good for people, it is always good. And I think CEO and other people who are leading such industries have a lot of responsibilities, and they can do much better jobs than anybody else. Because running a business is not easy, doing a job is not easy, handling people is not at all easy. So it is each one's responsibility to find out and do it way just like artificial intelligence is. That's it.
So we had a very long session. My promise was 1 hour, but though we had a very long session, so we had a bang on, the points were very crystal clear that everyone is very passionate about to follow your dreams with sincere. It's there in every startup, but the passion and patience, both are very much necessary for startups, especially in the industry. And with people like innovators like Madam, Akhtar Madam and Sir, Arulmurthy Sir of Digital Magic. So, the many pioneers nariya irukkiradhu vandu namakku romba advantageous. We are in the romba advantageous ஆன ஒரு பொசிஷன்ல இருக்கோம். நம்ம ஏஜ்ல இவங்க எல்லாம் வந்து ரொம்ப சஃபர் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க. We are lucky, and அடுத்த ஜெனரேஷன் இன்னமும் லக்கி ஆக போறாங்க. So, AI madri eduva irundhalum it is going to help us only. So, we take it in that positive note and request every one of you to continue this momentum wherever you go, to tell people that AI, how much AI can contribute to industry, how much engineers can turn their talents to industry. So, in the thread வந்து நீங்க எங்க போனாலும் வந்து நீங்க கேரி பண்ணிட்டு போகணும். You are all anchors and you are networking with many people outside. So, really industry needs engineers அப்படிங்கிற tagline எடுத்துட்டு போலாம் நம்ம. So, that much deprived. So, I request every one of you to take that culture and spread that culture, and whatever Anna University wants to support you all in that aspect. From Center for Entrepreneurship Development, we are ready to support you in any aspect on that grounds. So, we are here to assist you in any such networking ideas. So, if our students get benefited to get into industry, we are ready there. So, my request to every one of you, take that culture outside. So, thank you delegates for joining us. It's a very long session, so thank you for cooperating with us as well. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Soundarya, Deepthi, and thank you, sir.
Can we take a few questions from the audience side? Everyone don't mind. Do anyone have any questions? Or do anyone want to have some more clarity on what the topics discussed? No? Okay. I'd like to thank all our panelists for sharing their profound thoughts on the chosen topic, and I'd request Dr. G.S. Mahalakshmi ma'am to present every other panelist with a memento.
1 minute. Okay, film industry, as we know, most of the people, successful people, right, they all will have health problems and die early. Actually, director has given one solution, yoga. Okay, most of the people work, maybe the health issues, they don't take care. Most of the people work up to around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the film industry. And that is a daily basis. For a spectator, who are there. They all once in a way, once in a blue moon, they like see the concert and enjoy. But in the industry, people work always up to 2 o'clock. That is the peak time of the organ functioning is supposed to be 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock. That time most of the people will be awake in the film industry and they all spoil their health. Okay, I may be putting a break for all those people who are taking initiative to come in. So maybe what is the solution for that? All of you can think of it. Okay, so how to counter it and be healthy through and through. Thank you.
Now, staying late and doing work is only a myth. Many successful people like S.A. Chandrasekhar, he has directed nearly 70-80 films. He is not awake after 8 o'clock. He'll go to sleep, but he gets up at 4 o'clock. So in the shooting, I've seen many times at 5 o'clock he'll be coming and asking, you had tea, you had tea, you had tea, to all rooms. So I always used to wonder why sir is so careful about caring for us in the morning for tea. Once you have tea, then you won't go to sleep. So, so he will come in the morning 5 o'clock, wake everybody and ask whether you had tea. And once people have tea means they have to get ready. At 6 o'clock he will have the camera in place on the location. 6:30 first shot, first take should be taken. Otherwise he will become very angry. So he starts very early. Then he also winds up around 8 o'clock. After that, whatever happens, he won't do the work. So if you look at it, almost 14 hours of productive time. If you cannot do work in this 14 hours, you can never do work in any other time. So it is only a myth staying late is going to make more production. No, it is not true. But I have suffered a lot because even though I want to go to sleep on time, the client may not like. So I have worked for 72 hours continuously, even without taking bath. In studio, I am sitting and working. Yeah, so when I sit on the control panel, it looks like the control panel is going 360-degree rotation like this. You will feel like you are gone like that and come back. After 48 hours after that, your mind will start playing all the things. But sometimes you are, particularly in the advertising industry, deadlines are a lot more shorter than the movie industry. So I had faced all those things, but now I don't allow my students or even my studio people to do that. I know it is counterproductive. So I tell them, okay, go sleep, come early morning and do the work. So it is always be in sync with nature. Sun is our source of energy. Whatever you say, whatever technology, everything that happens on this planet is from the sun. So don't try to run away from him. Try to be close to him.
Sir, for example, I have also acted in a few, one serial also I have acted, one short film I have done. I can shoot in the morning, no problem. For example, if it is your apartment I am shooting, one uncle will come and say, enna ingala shoot பண்றீங்க போங்க. எங்களை உங்க டைம்ல ஷூட் பண்ண அலோவ் பண்ணுங்க, நாங்க ஷூட் பண்றோம். நீங்கெல்லாம் தூங்கினதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் எங்களால ஷூட்டே பண்ண முடியும். வேற வழி கிடையாது. தட் இஸ் த ப்ராக்டிக்கல் டிஃபிகல்ட்டி. மவுண்ட் ரோட்ல எங்களுக்கு ஒரு சீக்வன்ஸ் இருக்கு சார், ஒண்ணுமே ப்ராப்ளம் இல்லை. நான் ப்ராக்டிக்கலா உங்களுக்கு பதில் சொல்றேன். விஜய் அவர்களை வந்து கூட்டிட்டு வந்து நடிக்க வைக்கணும். கிரவுட் கண்ட்ரோல் நீங்க பண்ணுவீங்களா சார்? பண்ண முடியுமா? போலீஸ் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் என்ன ஆவாங்க? ராத்திரியில பண்றது ஈஸி, அவ்வளவுதான். அதையுமே தேடி பிடிச்சிட்டு வந்து அதுக்கு ஒரு கிரவுட் கண்ட்ரோல் ப்ராப்ளம் வரும், அதுக்கு ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் வரும். To avoid only, sir, we go out of city also, start shooting only after 1 o'clock in the night, so that everybody can sleep peacefully. We can also finish our film peacefully. So first of all, people will have to accept that films are not. நாங்களும் எங்களோட கால வேலையில நீங்க 9 to 6 வேலை பார்க்குற மாதிரி நாங்களும் உங்க அபார்ட்மெண்ட்ல 9 to 6 வந்து ஷூட் பண்ண அலோவ் பண்ணீங்கன்னா this will entirely come down. Our health will become much more better, sir. That is what I'm saying. This is a practical problem. It is probably why it is still happening.
So hope we got the answer, I guess. Thank you, Bhaskaran sir, for that. We can close the session.
So we can basically choose one between success and hair. That's what they said. Okay. I'd like to thank all our panelists for sharing their profound thoughts on the chosen topic, and I'd request Dr. G.S. Mahalakshmi ma'am to present every other panelist with a memento. And finally, we have come to the end of the day one of our Startify event. Hope everyone attended it, found it useful and worth it their time. And I promise that the day two of our event will be nothing less. Thank you everyone. Thank you.